Live on Saturday Night Live here at AP Studios. I want to welcome everybody that's been waiting, getting in here. I already chatted over there in the chat room before we started, so we'll let everything catch up here. Let the chat move over here to the live stream. Da, 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 da.
There it goes.
Yep, Jeff and Leslie, how you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
And all right, got it up and running on the other monitor so I can actually read the chat. All right, gentlemen, what's new with you, D?
Not much. Just kind of been cold here and haven't really gotten out to do any photography. Been a little busy with my dog's passing the other day that most of you already know about. But other than that, it's just been a little too cold and not much going on. We do have a few eagles kind of starting to show up, but it hasn't even begun here yet until the snow geese move on down here. So we'll see what happens.
Jeffrey?
Well, I went out this morning. It was a balmy 34 degrees. But I had my Duluth trading fleece pants on, and let me tell you what a difference that made. I was nice and comfy. So
Good.
And it was a great day. There were a lot of birds, a lot of white pelicans, they were eating a lot of fish. Everything was eating a lot of fish today. So it was one of the better days in months. I mean, it was like,
good, man. Good. Your audio's crackling again.
oh, here we go. I'll just change it to my Mac Studio audio since.
All right. How you doing, Joe? Mr. Joe Stroud? Ted, how you doing? Our ATR Bear.
Hopefully I'm better.
Yep.
I probably have a deeper voice now or something.
No crackling now.
No crackling, but it was a good day. Had a great day. I could have been out there all day with how I was dressed. So I finally got some stuff that's going to keep me toasty in the wintertime.
All right. Vic in the house. That's great. Paul Connors. Good to see you, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I'm picking up some audio in the background from somewhere. Could be me. Make sure I don't have no. Gustavo, how you doing, buddy? Greg Wilson, nature photography. You're not late, buddy. You're right on time.
Yep.
David Stewart. Possible aurora tonight. Good, man. Uh-oh. Drum roll. Mr. Z.
Wait.
What's going on, guys?
Here he is.
Here I am.
Sleek Images Photography. Good evening from bitterly cold central Illinois. Man, I bet it is because you're right in the path of all this cold air coming out of Canada.
Yeah.
Dadgum Canadians.
They Greg can keep Porter. It. Good to see you, Greg. Yeah, we got a few people funneling in. That's great. All right.
Heck, we're about to have a heat wave when we get the 50s here.
That's cool. 50s. I'd be happy with that. But we got wind and we're in the low 40s. Well, no, at night we're dipping down. I think we're going to get down. We're going to break 30 tonight, down in the upper 20s.
Yeah, I think Kansas is confused this year.
Yeah, we've been there and done that on the cold temps. Heck, it was 18 the other night.
Man.
Yeah, it's been pretty miserable in the mornings here.
Yeah, like 18.
Well, at least we don't have 6 foot of snow like Buffalo.
Yeah, they can keep that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Rakesh, good to see you. Hey, Mike. Good to see you in here. Let's see. Build a wall to stop the cold air from Canada is what Rakesh says. Yeah, I'd like to. And Paul, would you snag Paul B&H flash sale to get a Delkin 512 gig CF Express card, $169 plus tax. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that was the Delkin Pro.
Yeah,
Not the Delkin Black, but the Delkin Pro.
right.
Yeah.
But
What
you
did
know what?
Oh, go
You know
ahead.
what? That's just fine. I mean, especially see, I'm looking at video too now, so I don't need the extremely fast card, and I think even that card was had a 1539 write speed, so that's pretty daggone fast. That's
Yeah,
okay.
they just didn't advertise what the sustained speed was, but it's
Yeah,
more than adequate for anything 4K or lower. If you were shooting
yeah,
8K, that might be a difference, but for 99% of what Joes like us are going to shoot, it's fine.
so with
What
more and more people flowing in here, hang on just a second, Zach. I know I messed the thumbnail up, so to try to prevent anybody from well, I am crazy most of the time, but the I meant to say Black Friday week deals because there are deals already, as you guys know.
There's been deals all month, at least on camera specific gear. Like
Yeah.
everything's been. That's how I got the 20 millimeter f1.8. You see, that's what I like about the camera industry
Yep.
is like there's nothing wrong with like quality used equipment. And
Yep.
when brand new stuff goes on sale for Black Friday, the lenses have to follow suit.
Yep.
And so you can
Yeah.
get open box stuff for like $300 cheaper,
Yep. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to see what does come up. I'm waiting for storage. After I got the lesson from Mozman, and I'm definitely buying something. So I'm just waiting to see what kind of deals there are Black Friday. I'll even wait till Monday, Cyber Monday.
I got 2 boxes of these for Black Friday week.
What are these?
Oh, is it the cams?
Yeah,
Oh,
because and this is an exciting announcement. On Monday, I sign a lease for a studio space.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
Thank you. I finally got a. It's the front of it is going to be the actual studio space, and the back of it is big enough for a nice little office and YouTube content creation space. And I'm probably gonna start doing more printing service stuff. So I'm about
Cool.
to not quite yet, but maybe in the next month, I'm probably gonna pick up one of those 250-pound Canon ProGraph Pro 2100s.
Yeah, need 5 people to drag it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to start doing some large format printing, not just for photographers, but for local business and stuff
Cool.
like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a
Mozman
really
got
good deal on the space.
Oh,
Mozman
congratulations.
about the Topaz
Great.
bundle.
Oh
You're
man,
gonna
I
do a
love
little. You're gonna try
Topaz
to
noise.
sell some of your prints there too. You're gonna have like
Crackle him
a little bit
again, Jeffrey.
I'm crackling again with a different
Yeah.
mic, then I don't know
Yeah.
what to do. That's two different mics, so it ain't the mics. It's
Yeah.
restreams killing me.
But to answer your
Hey.
question, Jeff, I would love for people to buy my prints, and I will definitely have some on display, but I doubt anybody will buy them.
All right.
But they will cover the walls.
That's cool. That's cool, man. You just keep progressing. That's great. You got a studio space and everything.
That is
Hey,
cool.
Rakesh, it is still on. It's on till after Cyber Monday, or maybe the end of the month, I believe is what I saw. Started the 14th.
Chuck's got
and
the
I
right
think-
idea for getting storage for Black Friday. That's the move. It's always dirt cheap.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will be. Joe Stroud, he got some film. All right, Joe. Joe Mack, let's see. Canon has $200 off the R5 and R6 and the 5C. Wacom has a sale on their Pro Series tablets. Okay, cool.
I would actually really like to shoot an R5 if I knew somebody that had one with like a nice Canon lens. I would love to shoot one for a day, but
I shot it with the 100 to 500. Man, it was sweet. I almost switched to it.
my only problem with the Canon mirrorless cameras, and it's actually the same that it was with the DSLRs. They always like, and I don't want to offend anybody, but Canon cameras feel cheap. Like they feel like they'll break under the weight of your grip.
Yeah,
They're great. They have great guts, man, but they have like a toy feel to them.
Yeah, It kind of did actually. And
Yeah.
you know, really the only reason why I didn't switch, because the Z9 wasn't out yet,
Mhm.
but I had that camera, but the thing was running hot, just even shooting photos
Oh,
in my
really?
in my hand. Maybe I
That's
had a
no
bad
good.
one. I don't know, but it was just hot to the touch. And I
Oh,
was
so
like,
you
I ain't-
actually owned one?
yeah, I did briefly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
Isn't
Dave,
that
Dave,
always
you were
the
just
case?
at that age, man. You're having hot flashes.
yeah. Who knows? Maybe I don't know. It was just hot to the touch. I don't know why.
D Moots is going through camera pause.
Yeah,
Isn't that
you know,
always the
it was
case, Long Rider?
it was right when it first came out, and it was the very first firmware and all that stuff. So you know, I don't know if it got corrected or if anybody else experienced that problem.
Greg Wilson Photography just got back from birding and was hoping someone forgot their Z9 out there.
Yeah,
I almost got a local Hasselblad shooter. I almost got him sold on a Nikon Z9 because he's got the X1, was it X1D or something? The one that just
Yeah.
got a new version.
yeah.
And he's a really good photographer. He always, like, whenever we do these meetups, everybody's like taking pictures of the people, and he's the only one that thinks to take a picture, like a close up of a sister's hands braiding her sister's hair before it's her turn to shoot. So he always the out of the box,
yeah,
thinking outside the box stuff. And so like Hasselblad is like right up his alley. But we went out and shot this dance team, last month, and
Yeah.
it wasn't fast enough for him to get any action shots. But
I saw
tell you
that
what,
video.
the portraits he got looked real good.
Hey, Mike's asking a question. This is coming off of the heels of Vahagen's video talking about the attempted crime or theft out there in California. So he's saying that, AP. So really, how hard would it be to put in anti-theft software in a body? There is no anti-theft. I mean, they're going to take it.
No,
Are you talking about trying to prevent people from even taking cameras? I don't think it helps there either.
no. What you'd have to do is something similar to what they do with phones: is lock them down somehow, fingerprint touch stuff built into them, to
Yeah.
where the camera just doesn't function until you put your finger on it first, or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
the something that would be really, really simple, because like if your camera's off, but you have a battery in it, it lasts a really, really long time. Since
Yeah.
most cameras could probably pretty easily, and like some of them already have GPS in them. It wouldn't be hard to have an app on like SnapBridge or something like that, to where even if they take out the battery, as soon as they sell it to somebody, as soon as they turn it back on, you should be able to like identify like where it's at. And it'll be easy. It's like, okay, who sold that to you? Because it's mine. And then you go to the store. It'll probably end up in a pawn shop,
Yeah.
And you're either going to get your camera back legally, or you're going to get the satisfaction of busting who stole it. I think it would be really easy to put something like that in it. This idea of sticking an AirTag on every piece of photography equipment is a really bad example of not caring whether or not your customers get their stuff stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll make a difference. I'm going to tell you
Well,
right now.
you're the only way you could do it would be you'd have to put something in there where it's bricked, unless you can unlock it.
Yeah.
But then you're going to have people be like, well, that's a
Then
pain.
I brick myself out of it.
Yeah, well, that you brick yourself, or you're like, God, I have to constantly unlock this thing, and
Yep.
it's hindering my shooting. And
I'm not for it. I'm not for it at all. But it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if cameras start doing it. Then I
but
have
as
no
far as being
choice.
easy to do, it would be easy for them to do, to incorporate
Well,
that. It's
the Northrops were calling for some kind of like pin code thing, and that would be incredibly annoying, because
Yes.
every time I turn on my camera, I don't want to have to punch in a code. But
Yes.
building in GPS location tracking, it's already in cameras. Why not add the feature
yeah.
of
Well, maybe
being able to?
How-
It's like find my phone. I got it on here.
how hard would
Yeah.
it be to incorporate a fingerprint scanner right into your shutter button?
That would be
Then-
super cool if it's
Then,
fast.
then you're left to do the only thing you're left to do then is chase it down yourself. Do you really believe cops are going to worry about that and do anything about it?
Probably not, but I promise you, you don't want they don't want my justice. And so I'm
Well-
sure there's other photographers out there that feel the same way.
No,
And
I think everybody feels that way, but are you really
Mhm.
going to drive up to a house, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, you got my camera"?
I might, Chuck.
Okay, okay.
But you guys won't see me anymore because it'll be some honest, hardworking guy that thought he got something that wasn't hot,
Yeah,
and I'll get laid out on the porch.
yeah, yeah. A long rider. I was just saying, isn't that the way it always goes? You know, you're packing up, getting ready to go, and that's when all the action starts, or the perfect photo presents itself. I don't know if you guys saw. You guys got to watch a chat, man. He was packing up, getting ready to go after shooting all day, and I think he said a great horned owl, or not great horned. I don't know which owl landed about 50
Oh.
feet from him after he'd already
Oh,
broke down,
no.
ready
Oh,
to
yeah.
go.
That
That's
happens
whack.
to me a lot. You go, you're like, I'm done. You start putting stuff away, and never fails. You're driving
Well,
away
you
or
know what?
something.
I read his comment differently when
Yeah.
he said, just came back from shooting as I packed up a great horned owl 50 feet
Yeah.
away. So I'm thinking he shot it and he's packing it in a bag.
Mike Farwell, thumbprint. How does that work, Mike? I don't know. And I don't want that either. I don't want to have to stick my thumb on the either the back screen or whatever every time I go to shoot. When it goes to sleep, I gotta
Well,
stick my thumb on there again.
Well,
I'm sorry, guys. Nobody's going to convince me that it's going to make a bit of difference. But
Well, and you could make a conspiratorial argument that maybe the camera companies don't want to do that because the only person that loses if something gets stolen, because photography gear insurance is fairly available. Like
it is.
the camera companies don't lose. The insurance company, aka you, they're the ones that replace it. So like, why would they? If anything, it's like, I'm not saying that the camera companies want your stuff to get stolen, but there's not going to be a good incentive.
There's no incentive for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they've already
the
got your
problem
money.
is I had my camera stuff stolen, so I could speak firsthand what that's like. I had someone break in my house, stole everything I owned. And I had recently had put in a claim on my insurance for some structural damage of the house that wasn't caught by the house inspector. And they paid for that. And the thing was, if I made another claim, I wasn't going to be able to afford homeowners insurance anymore. So I had to take it on the chin and lost everything. And I didn't have cameras for a couple of years.
Do you have your stuff insured now?
No, I tried to get insurance. I checked my homeowner's policy. It's very limited. And if you write up a separate policy for everything I have, or I might carry on me or whatever, I mean, you could be talking $600 or $700 a year to insure it. And it's like,
Well,
I'm not
I have an
not a
inland
working pro. So
I have an inland marine policy, and it's $300 a year, and it covers over $30,000 worth of gear. That's cheap, and it covers
like specifically photography gear.
It's all my photography gear only. Yeah, it's a separate, and it even if you have a claim, it doesn't affect your homeowner's insurance, doesn't raise your rates, and it covers if I drop it, whatever.
If it gets stolen in the field too, it's not homeowners insurance; it's photography gear.
Yeah,
he said inland marine, so he's got a separate policy with inland marine, and I think it's one of the best deals I've heard.
It is.
Yeah, mine was more than double that, and I says I'm not going to spend that.
You should specifically ask them for an inland marine policy. That's what it's called.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that because that may be cheaper than like renter's insurance because I plan on keeping my studio. Like, I mean, I'm not leaving my Z9 and my 50mm 1.2 at my studio, but everything else, I don't mind leaving there.
So when you add on to homeowners, and I'm going to guess it's the same for renter's insurance, it's only for they don't cover anything outside the home. You can't drive around with equipment in your car. If it gets stolen out of your car, that policy doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, no, that's where your car policy kicks in. Mm-hmm. But this specific inland marine policy covers theft while I'm out, drops if I accidentally drop it and break it, And I've used it. I dropped a D850 in my garage, shooting birds in the backyard. Dropped it in my garage, cracked the whole top of it,
Yeah.
sent it off to Nikon. They fixed it. My insurance company paid for the whole thing. I didn't have to pay a dime.
Yep. That's a good deal, man. That's the best I've heard because I was researching
That does sound really good, actually.
policies, and because the other thing you run into for the amount of equipment that you've got on the policy, I've got you add everything up as far as light stands, lights, and tripods and heads, and I got $40,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting at you probably can't see that, but I'm sitting at $26,444.
Just when you do it, when you call, and if they have it for you, just be prepared. You need to have all your serial numbers, your receipts of stuff that you paid for.
Shit,
because they're gonna want all that stuff.
Yes, shoot.
I don't have receipts.
I do. But I keep boxes, and this is where it comes in handy because the receipt goes in the camera box when I stack it, put it away. I always know where the receipts are as long as I can find the box.
I always I scan my receipts in, and every time I get something new, I scan it in and I just upload it I email it to my insurance provider. He updates my inland marine policy with the new piece of equipment or takes off if I sell something. And, it really doesn't, I don't have to pay any extra or anything like that. It kind of, most of the time it's a wash on my values.
Albert's in here with us. I'm just slowly going down the list. James, J-Rod Photography. Good to see you. Jonathan De La Rosa. Good to see you. It's so great to say you.
Jeff and Leslie I think they said something about Hartford Insurance. That's exactly who mine is through, is Hartford Insurance. That's who I have my inland marine policy through.
Okay.
And mine was about $300 a year for over $30,000 worth of stuff.
Does pretty much everybody sell this type of insurance? Like, is it a common insurance?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
my wife works for Travelers, and she used to work on inland marine stuff.
Exactly.
So
well,
mention that to her, she's going to laugh and say, "Oh, I know all about inland marine." She probably created half the forms for it for Travelers.
Jeffrey, that's who I have is Travelers, and it's Travelers, but then like your inland marine policy, I think is put out by Hartford or something like that. So that's exactly who I have. So you should be able to get that if you have that.
If pretty much everybody carries it, that may be a pretty solid deal. Like, because I have like American Family, and if they have something like that, I have my car insurance from them. This studio space that I'm signing the lease for on Monday, it's actually owned by my insurance agent. So he owns a bunch of buildings here in town. So.
Cool. Hey, Mike. You know what? If they're going to put something in camera, because I don't think it's going to do anything. I really don't. But it's not going to be a deterrent. But in my opinion, it's not going to be. But if they make it so you can turn it off, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, it's not going to be a deterrent, but it may give you a chance of finding it after it disappears.
Maybe. But here's the other kicker. A lot of this is going out of the country, guys. I hope you understand that a lot of this crap, that they're stealing, they've been doing it with vehicles for years. That put them in shipping containers and they're gone, lost forever.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing with cameras or high value items too. Not everybody, of course, but you know what? What I am afraid of, if they do come out with it, then your insurance company's going to ask that question. Was the deterrent device on, and is it working? So either way, I'll probably get caught in that debacle.
Mm-hmm. What's sad is when my stuff got stolen, I had all the serial numbers and gave it to the police department, and they supposedly went and tapped all the pawn shops in the state, but they said, well, all it takes is somebody to go into New York or whatever and get rid of it. There's nothing we could do about it. We wouldn't be able to find out.
It's
They'll
not
just go to another state.
Like with a car, it's grand theft, and so you may be able to trace it across state lines. But for a few $1,000s worth of camera gear, like you could literally steal something in Kansas, go and sell in Oklahoma, and nobody is breaking jurisdiction for like $1,000 or something, or a
I'm
couple
with you,
$1,000.
I'm with you, Long Rider. We need a trunk monkey for your lens bag, or your camera bag.
Or you have to have one of those, a big anaconda snake coiled up in the back or something.
Or
My
what you can
inland,
do.
my inland policy too. Sorry, one more thing about it. It's written up. I'm looking at it right now. It's a business owner's inland marine policy. So I've got all kinds of different coverages in it. Like, there's coverage in here for liability. There's, limited liability type stuff. It's a very detailed. I might see if maybe I can get this form out to people to kind of look over, if I can get personal information off of it here somehow. But I've got a lot of coverage for, and I misquoted, it's $356 is what my price was for a year.
Seems cheap.
It's really good.
That's an idea too. Roy's talking about, having something, a tag that you carry, and the camera doesn't operate unless, the tag is within so many feet of it. That would be an inconvenience, but it's probably less of an inconvenience. But here's the thing: I'd lose the tag. I mean, I'm not trying to find ways out of this. I'm just trying to find reasons that, it might work, but I just don't see it working.
We'd have to implant a device underneath our skin.
Well, see that, like with that video that Vahagan shared, which I don't know how I missed that, but that video that he shared, like if people are willing to do that, like that's not like breaking into your car, that's beating somebody up in public in front of everybody.
Yeah,
like that's,
and if they're that brazen, forget it, man. I mean, we got a bigger issue than trying to figure out how to safeguard our cameras. Okay,
no,
we got a huge problem, and if anything, I hope that what Vahagan did is bring it to the attention of more and more photographers, and photographers need to start doing. Now, I've always been told, that's why I haven't done a video yet on it. Have a solution before you start talking about something. And honestly, the only solution I have is quit going to places and shooting, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
But that's the only solution that I have right now. Somehow, some way, photographers, maybe this is something that WPPI should pick up and become a voice with numbers about the crime and everything else, and how many photographers are being, beat and gear stolen or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. And maybe I've seen you guys have some ideas, but I don't have an idea for it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos of people following other cars and smashing their windows out at stoplights and grabbing all their camera gear.
Yeah.
So it's not just walking up to a park and getting your stuff. It could be while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Vahagan joined us, so hello, Vahagan.
Mr. V, I'm not down to your you're joining yet, V. Sorry about that. As usual, I'm behind here. Glue tags inside of your lens cap. Okay, yeah, I guess. I just don't have a solution for it. It is a problem, but again, now we're trying to put a Band-Aid on a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm just tired of Band-Aid fixes. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll think of something maybe that might, come up or work or whatever. But I think it's going to take not YouTubers. YouTubers need to spread awareness. Hey, this is going on. And, you need to start thinking about your safety, and you need to start thinking about how we can deal with this. But I think the bigger organizations, Nikon USA, Canon USA, Sony, WPPI, all the major photo events that go on, they need to bring the masses together and start talking about it.
Right.
Well, people keep talking bad about Nikon stuff. The thieves aren't going to want Nikon equipment anyway.
That's true.
They'll grab it and be like, "Oh, it's a Z9. God, here, have that back."
They'll say, "I'm sorry, here, take it." I can't
What
sell
was
it
it?
anyway.
I don't. It may have been. Maybe it was Long Rider, but it was like a couple of months ago. But he had that hilarious joke. He said somebody broke into my car and left their Sony.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was him.
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard, man, on these streams.
Yeah, so me personally, I refuse to live in fear, and I'm going to do what I do, and I understand the consequences of doing that. I think that's where everybody has to be right now.
Yeah.
That's all you're left with at the end of the day, and you know, I everybody says, "Well, would you fight somebody over your camera?" And I always say yes, but let me make sure everybody understands. I'm not going to fight somebody if it's a fight I can't possibly walk away from. I know
Yeah.
that may not make sense to everybody, but there are certain situations where you have no choice, and I'm not going to eat a bullet just because somebody's going
Yeah.
to take my camera. But there are instances where maybe I will put up a fight. Yes.
I
Hey,
mean,
Vahagen,
they would have to have a gun. I mean, if you want to fist fight over it, I'm gonna fist fight you over it. But like, you pull a knife,
Yeah.
dude, take it. I'm not gonna
Yep.
get stabbed over this.
Yep.
hey,
Yep.
Vahagen, I've never had insured anything without a receipt. But I have bought stuff off of like eBay and used stuff from other places. And they take that stuff. I would imagine if you had no receipt, if you talk to your insurance agent, if they would probably go off of whatever the current value is of like used value, maybe. I've
better
never
than
checked it.
nothing.
I'll have to ask my insurance guy about that. If I had something without a receipt, what they would require. But I've never insured anything that didn't have some type of receipt with it.
All right. Is it Natsisa? Natsisa? I don't know. 71. Good to see you in here. Glad you joined us. He's got a question, and we've definitely got enough people to answer this for him. Is the Nikon Z 7200 $300 off? And if it is that a good deal? How does it perform on the Nikon Z6 II? I'll let you guys run away with that.
It's a great. I mean, I have that lens. I don't have a Z6 II, but I have that lens, and it's a great lens. And if you can get it for $300 off, and you want it, I'd get it. That's we were just talking earlier that
Yeah.
24 to 70 2.8. I think it's $300 off as well right now, and that's a good deal. I got lucky and picked up a used one from a buddy of mine for $1,500. I called Vahagen about it the other day, and man, I got it, and that's such a sweet lens.
Check this out. It's off subject, but I'm finding She-Wade hair all over this dadgum apartment.
There you
Who
go,
knows
man.
how long this has been in my headphones?
You better have a talk with her. She's out of control.
Well, I that's what I was gonna say. My anti-theft recommendation is actually inserting a picture of She-Wade in your bag, and so if somebody steals it, they see it, and it's got a little caption that says, "This camera gear attracts this caliber of woman," and they'll probably just leave it alone.
Jump back on this again on the insurance thing again. A lot of people commenting, and Rakesh says I insured one of my Z7 II and a 24 to 120 for 3 years from Mac Camera Insurance. Okay, Joe Mack, all my receipts are in a file folder. Good idea. Good idea.
I'm gonna start saving mine now, but generally I only keep my receipts for a year, and then I get rid of them after that.
Yeah. I've also I've
you-
registered mine on Nikon USA as well. They have the little you can register all your Nikon gear there. Now it doesn't cover anything but my Nikon gear.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't deny you registry.
Well,
Zach,
this was well before I went on my.
do you
rant.
have an iPhone, Zach?
Yes, I do.
You know what I do with my receipts? I opened up the Notes app, and scan it in as a document, and then you always have it in the cloud.
Oh, nice.
It does a really good job of scanning them in. That's how I do it, and then you always have access to them.
I have to start doing that. Yeah, because I literally keep them in like a Manila folder for like a year.
Yeah.
And then I
man.
just get rid of them.
You guys are going here. And Mozman says that, let's see, he pays about 350 a year for about 20 can coverage, which isn't enough, but will be enough to cover whatever I carry. So
Mhm.
is that the way it works, Moz? Can I just get $20,000 worth of coverage? Meaning, if I'm out somewhere, I'll never have everything I own with me, obviously. So, but that would cover whatever I'm carrying, or do they have to cover everything you want covered? Meaning, serial numbers, photos, and whatever. I don't know. Help me
Yeah,
out.
my particular insurance is they wanted to know exactly what equipment, and they put the value of the insurance over what my total value was of all my pieces.
Yeah.
So you couldn't
That's how
claim.
mine worked.
So you couldn't
Yeah.
claim light stands unless you put them on there.
You have
Yeah.
to. Well, that's how mine's set up. I don't know if everything's set up that
Okay,
way.
and light stands aren't the most expensive thing in the world. They're not
No,
cheap, but they're,
and
but
and I did not list everything I have. Like, I had extra little knickknacks of
Oh,
whatever.
filters and stuff like that.
If it
yeah.
wasn't somewhat expensive, I didn't list it.
So expect to, just have a loss is what we're saying, I guess, for uh, all the different peripherals that may go along with your photography. All right.
Yeah, I would say you definitely don't want it tied in with your homeowners, because otherwise, if you make a claim, your homeowners is just
Yeah.
going to go up and they're going to get all the money back that they just paid out anyway.
Well,
You want
that's
it
a
to be
good.
separate
yeah.
policy.
And the inland marine policy is not tied to your homeowners
Yeah,
at all.
yeah,
It's a
that's
total
what I'm
separate
saying.
policy.
It's
And
separate, then that's it.
If you have
That's
a
what you want.
claim, it does not go against the claims on an inland marine policy do not harm you in any way.
And
And it could-
Mozman's right. No matter what, read the fine print, because that's where you
Oh
get
yeah,
caught.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can speak from experience. I've claimed on my policy,
Okay.
and it was so easy. I
Well, I
shipped it
like
off
the
to
fact that
Nikon.
it's also got a drop and whatever
Yeah.
policy. That's
Yeah.
great.
if you can get it, like if your homeowner insurance and car insurance provider has it, like the more stuff you bundle in there, the better it is. So, I mean, if you're going to get the insurance anyway, everybody ought to just check and see if their insurance guys will, maybe your homeowner's insurance will go down a couple bucks.
Yeah,
Now, here's something I want to bring up, because Jeff and Leslie talking about, I agree it won't be a deterrent, talking about this security measure built into the camera. But somebody brought up, and I don't know where they were from, but brought up the theft. And, take it for what it's worth. He says that a lot of these folks are stealing cameras to sell the magnesium bodies. Now, so if you got a cheap little old camera, it's all plastic. It may not mean anything, but for a full body camera that has a magnesium alloy frame to it. So I don't know. And that could be true, because they're stealing wood off of cars now in the middle of the night. You go out in the morning, start your car, and it sounds like a race car.
Yeah.
Here's the solution. You either put a Polaroid or a Kodak sticker over the Nikon label.
Yeah, there you go. I don't think they look that close, Jeffrey. I think they it's dash and grab, man. And A Good wants to know, how you doing, A Good? Good to see you in here, man. He wants to know about the printer behind you there.
Yeah,
David.
I answered him in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's a Canon Pro 100.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Interesting about this theft stuff. The guy if you're in a place like the place that Vahagen showed, where it's like super popular for photographers, the one guy that's not going to get robbed has the most expensive camera. The guy with the Leica, because it doesn't look like it's worth anything. The guy with the giant telephoto is definitely getting robbed.
Yeah.
Maybe
Dave,
it does
you
pay to
put
go
that-
out
you
and shoot
put that
long
400 on
Or
your
the-
camera, Dave. You got to
So
watch
you-
out, man.
Or the guy, the guy that's got the $7,000 Hasselblad down here with the top-end viewfinder. He's not getting robbed. It's like that guy has like a pinhole camera. We'll leave him alone. We'll go
What
steal
about-
this D3200.
Vahagen, I
the
finally
CFC?
got to your intro there. Sorry, man. We're already running. Hey, I want to bring something else up, and then I'm going to just turn it loose and let you guys continue just follow the chat, see where the chat's going. If you would, please keep an eye on it. And you don't always have to type your responses. Sometimes it's okay, but bring it up so that we can, everybody gets a chance to be heard. By the way, the phone line is open if anybody wants to call in. I'll put the number up here in just a second. But I want to bring up something because in my thumbnail, I also put I have to revise my don't unsubscribe from channels. They don't eat, they don't, bark at night and keep you up. You just never have to go and watch the channel anymore. But I'm going to revise that because I just unsubscribed from a channel. A prominent YouTuber decided to block me. And I have no idea why, but he blocked me. Sure as I'm sitting there speaking, because I commented several times the other night on a live stream, and it's nowhere to be seen. Nobody saw it. Everybody thinks, well, I was missing. And you know what? I did unsubscribe, not out of just anger, but out of the fact that if I can't comment on his videos or streams, then I don't need to be associated with him. I don't need to be subscribed.
Somebody
Yeah.
blocked you?
Yes. And so anyway, I wanted to revise my, I don't unsubscribe. I now have. And that's the first one I've unsubscribed from. But if he doesn't want me commenting, sharing my opinions or my questions, then I just don't need his channel. So I just wanted to make sure everybody understood. But yeah, that's the first time it's happened to me ever on YouTube. But sure as the world, I got blocked. I don't know what for, but there you go. All right.
Yeah, Jeff and Leslie, I'm with you when you said prominent YouTuber, so it wasn't you. I know it wasn't me either.
No. It's nobody in here. However, there is one person that if he does show up in the chat, I'm going to invite him to call in because I got a bone to pick with him. For some reason, Vahagan and I both are on his attack list. So I want him to come on and talk about it.
On a happy note, I want to say this real quick because this goes out to like everybody that's like on the panels and everything. You remember the last photo review that we did? There was that one guy, Chuck, you edited his photo.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it hadn't been processed at all. Yeah. His name is Swain Amir Hussein. Yes. And that editing video that I put out earlier this week, that was one that he asked me here. He said it would be nice to have like a detailed description of what everything is. I made that video for him, and I just wanted to tell everybody that he sends his thanks. He really appreciated everybody's input and guidance on that. And so he said that he wasn't much interested in editing, but he's now kind of seems like he's interested in learning some post-processing. So,
and that's good. That's great because he sent me a couple of emails and I corresponded with him. And I think you actually said in that stream that you were going to do it and he was looking forward to that. So, kudos, Zach, kudos, man.
Yeah, that makes me feel good that we're like having a positive influence on the people that, it's like we could take this and be like, hey man, looks like this could use some post-processing, and they're like, help. And then we help. It's same thing with the Z9 issue that everybody pulled out their Z9s like months ago and was trying to troubleshoot. You only get that here, folks. You only get that here.
Oh man.
That's cool.
Let's see. All right. I'm trying to get to the bottom here. All right. I got that out of the way. One more admin note. Saturday, December 4th is the next photo review. Saturday, December 4th. I think I said 6th or 1st or something stupid the last time. It always pays to go look at a calendar. Anyway,
I got Saturday, my elk models ready.
Everybody go get your animal models out in the field.
Yeah. I'm going to say, David, why do the eyes look kind of glazed over?
I'm going to make sure I brush it this time. But geez.
So the December 4th, Saturday photo review. And here are the requirements. One, in the when you send an email, and I'll put the email address up again throughout the stream. When you send an email in the subject line, just put December photo review. if you'll do that, or anything that says that I'm submitting a photo for the review.
Yeah.
I don't care, but that catches my attention, and I can make sure I get you in the folder for the review. And I know I missed a couple last time, but I'm watching. I already have a couple of submissions, and you guys would be really surprised, of course.
Yeah, Rakesh. Yeah, December 3rd.
Yeah,
I think.
December 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, 4th is a Sunday? See, I got
4th
that
is
wrong.
Sunday.
Maybe I was looking at 2023. I don't know. Golly, I'm gonna have to hire somebody to just sit behind me and go, no, don't say that.
You got to throw away last year's calendar, Chuck.
Yeah, I guess, man. I guess. All right. So yeah. Anyway, let start sending your photos in now. And if you got to change it later, that's fine. But if it's so much easier for me rather than on that Saturday trying to run back and forth to the computer when I'm doing other things to download photos and put them in the folder.
Hey Chuck,
right, yeah.
I don't want to be the bad guy, but I do want to recommend that you have like a strict cutoff, because that does kill about 30 minutes of like good content of trying to get those going. And I don't think anybody will hold that against you for having like a hard cutoff day before you get it in.
Well, I tried it last time, even by saying I think I said 5 p.m. Saturday Eastern time, 5 p.m. Eastern. But let's go with noon Eastern time on Saturday. Everything else gets pushed over to the next month, unless we run out of time completely. But I think we did a pretty good job last month, kind of keeping more.
Yeah.
I didn't do that until the end, I think.
It moved fairly quickly.
It moved pretty good.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, Zach, and you're right. I appreciate everybody, following the guidelines here with noon Eastern on that Saturday. It'll help out tremendously. You're right, Zach.
Chuck's a really nice guy, folks. Cut him a break.
Yeah, man.
You guys don't know how hard this.
We got to
stuff
get
is.
him off. We don't want his wife beating him up being on the computer too long. So we're not helping him when he's on the computer getting these photos and dribs and drabs.
No,
I'm sure. I bet she sure likes the money he makes selling them.
Yeah, true enough. True enough. She's got a lot of new shoes now. Hey, Greg, I haven't started anything yet. Black Friday is going to bring about my transition to a single station for consolidating all my photos, meaning Black Friday sale. I plan to buy no later than Cyber Monday. I've already been looking, and I just haven't seen anything really yet. And I'm sure we're going to see something by the end of the week.
I really like this, like Black Friday not being like one day. I really like it being like a week-long thing, because it's like people aren't getting trampled, and it's easier to get things, I like this a lot better. Like America should have done this a long time ago.
Only thing I recommend to anybody, and I don't care if it's B&H you're looking at or Adorama, whoever, when you see what you think is the deal of the century, go to a couple other sites and make sure it really is the deal of the century.
Right.
And not something that got marked up 40% and then they're saying 50% off.
Thanks, Albert. Appreciate that, man. Courage Studios, Sky. Hey, buddy, good to see you in here. You've been busy, I see. I get a lot of Instagram notifications about your photos, so I'm trying to keep up with you, brother.
Hey, thanks, Vahagan. I'm enjoying it, and I agree with Ryan Luna. 600 is pretty cheap for that lens. It's a real good looking lens. Ryan Luna said $600 for the 20mm Z. That's offensive.
I'm looking at the other. Let's see, and give Chuck another 173 subscribers. Hey, I appreciate that, Tim. I really do, and we're gonna get there. We will get there.
What are you at right now? 827. Oh man, you're on your way.
It went up again. All right, good. Good. Thank you all. Everybody that subscribes, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And again, if I want to get to 1,000, I want to get to 1,100 to give me the buffer because I wake up in the morning and somebody else is gone. I'm thinking, what did I say that drove somebody away? But yeah, and then after that, honestly, I don't care because all that matters then is the content's being pushed, and I got all these wonderful people that want to come in here and talk with us. So, all
Don't
right,
feel bad, Chuck. It happens to me too every day.
yeah, I know,
I'll gain two, and then the next day I lost one.
yeah.
Then I gain nobody, then I lose another one. It's weird.
I think
I
it's
mean,
YouTube that's doing it.
yeah,
YouTube striking subscribers.
Yeah,
yeah.
YouTube never wants you to hit 1,000. So as soon as you're at 999,
Yeah,
then it goes down to 850.
Well, you know
gonna
what's
take-
really, yeah, you know what? Like YouTube subscribers are like a credit score. It's like the better you do, the lower
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
But no,
Or those
I-
crazy bidding sites where you bid, and if somebody bids in the next 10 minutes, they take it away or whatever. They keep
That's
going
funny.
backward.
What's
starting over.
funny is since the live stream started, I've just picked up two. I don't know if it's part of this or if it just happened.
Great, man. That's great.
yeah.
I hope it. Thank you if it is part of this stream. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's funny.
thank you, Gustavo. And Zach was going to talk about that a minute ago. I was talking to Vahagan about it, and that is so true. None of this is free, by the way. And you know what? If I get monetized, I'll put every 2 cents that I get from anything. That's about what it'll be towards Restream, so I can keep
Yeah.
Restream going.
Hey, I
But-
thought it was the M&Ms, man. The
But
M&Ms.
But well, I'll use that just to draw, some use that as leverage with the crowd. Hey, man, I'm out of M&Ms. But it's not just that; it's the time it takes, man. There's so much time involved in doing all this stuff, and I just wish people. I think anybody that has a YouTube channel or has ever tried to have a YouTube channel understands the amount of time that goes into doing all this stuff. And I'm not even editing videos like so many other people. So anyway,
It's crazy. That's one more thought on the subscribers. I was sitting at maybe 15 shy of 1,500 subscribers. And for me, that's a big deal because it took me 2 years to get 1,000. Right. And then since I got
I'm hosed, man.
monetized in April, I finally broke 15, but I got really excited. And I think I posted on Facebook, my personal Facebook, I was like, holy crap. I said, I'm almost at 1,500 subscribers. And then I go and look back and I had 15 less than I did a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think people unsubscribed because I mentioned
They probably
I was almost
did.
there.
the
They're probably like,
algorithm works
"Bullshit."
that way. The algorithm sent a notice to YouTube headquarters. Hey, this guy just went over 1,000. All right, pull 15.
This guy's too excited. We need to crush him so he works harder to make us more ad revenue.
Oh man.
Hey,
Yeah, and then like 2 days later, I was at 1520 or something like that, and I was like, "What the heck, man? It's like you gain 5, you lose 15, you gain 40, and this whole time your emotions are just like this."
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
I
sit-
think
I've
when
been
when
sitting
mine
in the-
goes down a few, I figure the person just finally lapsed into a coma from watching my videos, and they haven't woken up yet.
I've been sitting at the 480 range forever. It's I don't know.
Yeah. So
But,
I'm going to
I mean-
ask for subscribers, honey. If you're listening, I'm asking because we had this heated discussion last night about me not asking for. I said I don't want to beg. You know me better than that. Well, it's not begging. It's what you do. You have to do. Blah blah blah. So I'm asking anybody in here that's not subscribed, please subscribe. You'll make my wife extremely happy, which makes me extremely happy. So there you go. That's got that out of the way. But she loves me dearly. She, for whatever reason, she's more about me breaking 1,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever than I am. But I know I shouldn't be that way. But anyway, all right.
Well, I can't complain either. It's not like I'm turning out weekly content. I'm not. I just haven't had the time or the subject matter really.
You know what I
Yeah.
just realized? Earlier, I showed you guys the total value of everything I own, and it's like D Moots's new lens is almost there. In fact, if you put both of his fancy lenses together, it's like you need all of the insurance for those two lenses that I need for my entire career, and maybe my truck.
There you go. Anytime someone unsubs from me, an Eminem character dies.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys this. So did any of you guys see my Meyer Optic Görlitz video? Where I reviewed I reviewed the Trio Plan 100.
Oh yeah,
No.
It's been a long time ago. Well, I had a few videos leading up to that talking about how, like the scam that was going on and how now it's a legitimate company again. And I got the Trio Plan, and it just had some huge issues with it. Like, it was absolutely unsharp. You couldn't achieve sharpness, and it had like a haziness to it. It just seemed like a bad lens. Not like it was broken, but it was like really bad. That video somehow got back to Meyer Optic Görlitz.
Oh wow.
And they sent me an email saying that they were shocked to see how unhappy I was with that lens, and they challenged me to re-review it. They're gonna send me a Trio Plan from Germany to try out again, and
Nice.
that's how offended they were. But now apparently
that sounds like that's how Nikon does with Jared Poland. You didn't like it?
Yeah.
Well,
here's an I Shoot Z shirt.
so
Hey,
we're going to send you another one.
I mentioned Angelbird in one of my videos, and they reached out to me because I was having some issues with the card. And they reached out to me, and they were going to replace it and everything. But I think it was early on when I first got the Z9, and I did a factory reset out of the box with my camera, and it fixed whatever issue I had. So I said, hey, thank you, but I turned them down on swapping out my card because I said it's functioning fine now. And I didn't have hardly any subscribers at that time, but it's amazing how sometimes these companies find your videos.
I know, it's crazy because I have such a small, and I ended up they started off really kind of snappy in the email, but then they got into like the challenge, and they said, we know how our lenses operate, and they kind of explained like their QA process, and they're like, it had to be damaged in shipping. It had to be. There's no way that it came out of the factory like that. And so we developed kind of a friendly repertoire, and I told them I appreciated them paying attention to my small channel, and they said we're a small company, and so we like a small channel, and they said I was going to have it within 2 weeks, but apparently the whole company has C19 right now, so either that or they're playing with me. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it.
I should do a video again on that Angelbird card because it still functions, but I tell you what, and I treat my cards. I mean, I don't abuse any of my stuff, but this thing is crumbling. All the plastic on it is crumbling for some reason on the back where you kind of push in and out. And it's just this one Angelbird card I have. I don't know what the deal is. Card still functions fine, but
you do need to make a video because I torture my like CF Express cards like hard.
Yeah, and
I drop them.
I mean, my cards live in my camera unless I take them out just to put them in the reader. They go right back in. I don't.
Oh no, not this one. This SanDisk.
That's amazing, Bogan.
This SanDisk 128. This literally fell off my desk, and I went to roll backwards to pick it up, and it had bounced under my wheel, and it literally, like, I drug it across my floor under the wheel, and there's not a scuff on it, like not even a scratch.
You know what? I washed my Delkin Black about a week ago. It went through the washer and the dryer, still functions. Didn't hurt it at all.
I would. I'd make a video for Angelbird. Meyer Optical, they said, we wish you would have reached out to us first before making the video. I'm like, well, that's not what I do. I review my experiences.
Yeah, I think I will. I'll do I might do a video on that because it's literally just the plastic. I don't know what the deal is. It's just crumbling, and And
I don't know.
there's been one issue where a piece of it, had I not caught it in time, would have fell down into the camera. And if I wouldn't have seen that and then pushed another card into there, it probably would have done some damage.
It's kind of weird because like Angelbird, like not whenever I got into photography, I didn't know anything about him, but maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Angelbird was like way up here and Pure Gear was like the Dollar General. And now I see a lot of people really like the Pure Gear. Like Matt Irwin loves the Pure Gear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird because that was like the equate.
Whoa. Stop for a minute. Tell me something Matt Irwin doesn't like.
That's a good point.
I challenge
that
you
is
right
true.
now. I challenge you.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It is a good point. I've never seen a video where he's
the right idea. You want to clean the memory off your card, you got to throw it in the washer and then dry it. That's how you clean the memory off the card. You know.
Well, and that was a Delkin Black. I've never washed this Angelbird card, so maybe I should have.
I wouldn't try it.
No. But I do like my Delkin Black card, man. That thing is fast and
Greg. I'm sorry, D-Moots. That's funny. That was funny what Greg said.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you do that, Z-Wade, the only thing left on your card is going to be a few flower pictures you took.
Yeah, all my She-Wade pictures are going to vanish.
Yeah, I should do that. I'll work up a video here pretty soon on that card.
Actually, you know what? I can't find any of the pictures I took for the first video that She-Wade was in. I can't find any of those pictures, and so I think my Mac may have thought they were a virus.
I didn't watch the video about the Fuji camera, but just so everybody knows, I just think Matt Irwin's probably the nicest man in the world.
Well, see, that's what I love
He's
about
just incredibly
Australians.
nice.
So happy to see you today. So happy to see you.
Yeah.
Love you. Happy.
That's, dude, I'm telling you, that's why, like, I used to want to go to a bunch of different places. Now the only place on my bucket list is Australia because like I've met a lot of Australians and they're all so chill. And I seriously think, with the exception of a small group of really fierce soldiers in the world wars, I feel like when the rest of the world is destroying each other, they're going to be sitting back going like, what the heck, man?
I would love to go over there.
I just love how everything in Australia will kill you, and the people are just so nice. Like they just want to surf on the Gold Coast, ride horses and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's no big deal that there's a spider in the public bathroom that's like bigger than the size of my hand, and they're just like, "WTF, mate?" You know?
Yeah. Well, look at Mr. Roy Bigsby. He's so even keeled that does he ever raise his voice? I mean, Roy's another one of those, people that's just calm, cool, and collective. Roy, I know you're in the chat, man. Is that something for everybody down there?
It's eating those Vegemite sandwiches that does it. It calms everybody down.
I think it's great. Maybe that's where I need to move and chill out.
It seems like a great place to retire as long as you're not afraid of like poisonous bugs and snakes.
Oh, my wife is scared of anything that lives outside of the house. And if it happens to get inside of the house, oh man.
So
then I have a new assignment. Let's put it that way. You get rid of this thing that I saw in such and such a room. Well, what was it? I don't know, but I don't like it. Find it and kill it.
my bride, because I have a black walnut tree, a couple of them behind the house here. And of course the squirrels love them when they drop. And so there was the hull laying on the porch right in front of the door. One day we came in, she said, "Where did that come from?" This is a squirrel out here hulling black walnuts. And she said, "Squirrels, can we get rid of them?" I said, "No, baby, we can't. First of all, it's illegal unless it's hunting season. And second of all, we can't eliminate them in Connecticut. That would be the only way to keep them away from the house." Oh man.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, the squirrels down south, where I grew up were pretty bold too. We had, they chewed through the side of our house in Mississippi and just like made homes in the attic. They literally like ate through
Yeah,
the side
yeah,
of the wall. I'm
yeah.
like, man, they're real aggressive. And then the ones I don't know if they're like this where you are. These red tail squirrels, demoots in Kansas,
Oh yeah,
they're antagonizing little b
they
words.
are.
Like
Yeah,
they'll sit on the power lines and they'll flick their tail at you and just gripe and just
yeah.
and like you're pretty low on the food chain, dude. I'd
They're-
watch it.
The red fox squirrels we have around here are pretty. They're pretty aggressive, actually. They don't back down to a lot.
Nope.
The little gray squirrels aren't near as aggressive. They're
Yeah.
just a nuisance. They're a big nuisance.
Yeah, they're bold. They'll eat your house.
Yeah.
All right, people, topics open over in the chat. Let's go. Bring the hard questions because I'm going to leave and go get coffee, and I'm going to leave these geniuses here to answer them.
Count me out. I'm going to go to the bathroom too.
All
All
right.
right, I guess me and D Moots will talk about the separate types of photography that each other don't do. Because he's a big wildlife guy, and I do none of that. Do you do any portraits, D Moots? Or are you all wildlife?
I'm all wildlife now. I mean, I used to do senior photo shoots a long time
Yeah.
ago. But I've never really done portraits for people. I've done some headshots for like my wife's some business coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing spectacular. I mean, I really don't know what I'm doing with that stuff, but I would love to get into it and just not to make a living out of it or anything, but just to do it every once in a while. But
D Moots,
no,
you need to come to the Wichita area, and I'll show you how to do a bodyscape
yeah,
once I get my studio going.
it's not going to be She Wade, is it?
No.
Oh,
She Wade's busy and a little too hairy for bodyscape.
ooh, ooh, ooh. The hairs are sticking out of my back right now.
The hairs are sticking out of She Wade's back too, there, Jeff.
I want to throw this up there for a minute, just for anybody that would like to start submitting their photo for the photo review, because it'll be upon us before we know it with Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah.
Here's the address, the email address, folks.
SanDisk 2 terabyte extreme portable SSD version 2. Huh. I haven't bought any portable SSDs for a while.
Here
don't
is
even know.
one.
Oh
I would
yeah,
like
that's
to-
good. That's a $300 off at B&H. That's SanDisk, $149.99. It says save 300.
I want to recommend this one. I'm not like a memory smart guy like Moz is, but there's this one. I'll type it in the chat. It's the OWC Envoy, and it is lightning fast. It like I can export. Like I use it as my working hard drive, right? So my storage is actually a bigger, like a two or 4 terabyte unit. This one is only 1 terabyte. I only use it for transfers because I can transfer it like an 18 gig video in like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
It has an incredibly fast write speed. I'll type it in the chat here.
It looks like
OWC.
that SanDisk 2 terabyte looks like a really good deal.
That is a good deal.
That's
Yeah.
a fast
That's
little
the-
portable unit.
That's the best SSD drive price that I've seen, and I went on, Adorama's site and some others, and
Yeah,
that
that's a
seems
good.
like a really good deal.
If it has a fat, look at the read write speed of it, because that's generally what you pay for, I think, these days. Because like memory is actually cheap, speed is not.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
it's 1,000 megabytes per second. So it's a fast car. I mean, it's a fast little portable.
So yeah, the one that I just mentioned is $149.
Mark Wesson's asking about a CF Express card for video.
Well, just video only.
There-
It doesn't have to be the,
Lots of-
the
yeah,
lots
highest
of-
end one for video.
Yeah.
It depends.
I-
If you're doing 4K, man, even 256 is a little small for if you're doing a lot of
Yeah.
4K.
Yeah. I use a 512 and it's actually too small.
Yeah.
But I get by with it. I have a couple of them, and if I fill one up, I just swap them out. But 512 is almost too small for 4K 120.
Isn't that crazy? It's like
Yeah.
nobody can afford. Like they keep pushing out this crazy like video capability, and like nobody can even on the cheaper cameras, like 4K is kind of commonplace. Like if you have an external recorder, and like the Atomos hard drive is not cheap, and like the high, like a terabyte CF Express card is not
Yeah.
cheap. It's like, you know, you
Yeah,
you can afford the
if you
camera but not the card.
There
if
are
you
some
use-
good deals right now, though.
Now's the time.
on larger cards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Black
no,
Friday is
I
always
should
the time
really,
for memory.
I should really look into one for doing video, because if you shoot in RAW, and you know it sucks up a 512 in no time.
Yeah.
And most of these cards now, even the ones that aren't the super high speed, are fine for 8K video. And if you're shooting if you're just shooting 1280 or 4K 30, then, you know, and not raw or, oh shoot.
Yeah, I should really look into a 1 terabyte at least. See what kind
Hey,
of deals they got.
Nick T, I'm gonna Google what mine is. What I can tell you right now is I use a Mac Studio display, and it's the nicest monitor I've ever owned for editing. On the colors are perfect, and the brightness is actually perfect for mobile viewing. So like I don't have to check and do extra adjustments to make sure it's not too dark or too bright. But I'll look up exactly what it is, whether it's TNVA, IPS, or OLED. Unless Jeffrey knows that. You have a Mac Studio, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
Tim,
Yeah,
aren't any deals on the Z8 yet. I still have it. I've got to get it back to Nikon soon so they can do the announcement, but no deals on it yet, really. I like that because it aggravates some people that, you know, I like talking about the Z8. A lot of people don't. I understand. Space people talking about his Mac. You know what? You just now notice that space, or is that something that it's always been the case? Because with this latest update, Adobe update, it no longer recognizes my SanDisk external drive. I have no idea why.
Well, when he says it doesn't trigger an import in photos, I haven't had it trigger an import in photos for a long time. I have to tell it I'm going to import. I have to click import, and then the card will show up, and then I have to actually open up the folder, and the pictures will show up as thumbnails or whatever, and then I can say where I want to store those files. So it's never, I don't remember it ever doing it automatically for me, if that's what you're saying. I mean, I've always had to tell it what I want it to do.
It depends. Well, I guess maybe so, but mine, it doesn't come up as a card. It comes up as Z6, Z7, or Z9, or, you know, D850 or whatever.
DPIM, or, you know, it'll be.
Yeah, but it won't recognize now just the SanDisk external drive at all. I have to go in and just move all the files myself, and that's what he's saying he has to do.
And to answer your question, Nick T, it looks like, according to the University of Google, it's an IPS LED. That's what it says.
Nick T, I just put in there what I use. I'm a Windows user, so I use the Asus ProArt displays. They are really good. They're 100% sRGB, really accurate monitors on the PC side.
Yeah, that's you have the one that you want if you're on Windows.
Yeah, it's one of the best displays you can get for a Windows PC and doing photos and video.
I noticed that the
I'll
price
check
of the
that.
Studio display went down, of course, now that I've had it for a couple of months. That's nice.
Hey guys, Mr. Ronald Pollard's joined us. Sorry.
You know what? Speaking of nice people, I was going to mention this earlier when we were talking about nice Australians. Dude, Pollard is like one of the nicest guys, because like we're sitting here like screaming over each other, and then like on Wednesdays he's like, Chuck, would
Yeah.
you mind if I interject for a second? And you're like,
Yeah.
sure, go
He-
ahead.
he
Yeah,
is. He is.
He's like the nicest guy ever. He's like,
Yeah.
if I may, and that's an excellent point that you just made. If I may interject my own opinion, I'm like, man, he's so kind.
He is. He is. I'll tell you that from talking to him on the phone several times too. He is. He's the nicest guy you'll meet. Well, in the States, I still reserve the top spot for Matt Irwin. He's just so nice. You know?
Yeah, Matt Irwin is the nicest international human being on the planet.
Yeah. No, I talked to Ron. Called me the other day. We had a good conversation on the phone about talking about the Z30.
There you go. That SanDisk SSD is good. Yeah, cheaper now. It's funny how fast these prices are going down, or is it just because we're in the season of deals?
Well, I mean, now is hard drives always have a good price on Black Friday, but I mean, the price has been consistently going down on memory. Like I remember whenever I was in high school, 2006, 2007, I remember like working at Pizza Hut, and there was a guy talking about how he was like a big computer gamer, and he was just like wishing that he could afford a 1 terabyte hard drive. And now they're like $95.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was just going to say,
wasn't that long ago.
I don't worry too when I'm out in the field or you traveling. I don't worry too much about speed on them. I use a 860 Evo Samsung that I just slip into a little USB-C case.
Yeah,
And I got a few of them, and I can just put them in this case, and it's fast. And that's all I use. I don't buy the rugged ones or anything like that. I've dropped these things. I've never had any issues with them, but I've had real good luck with Samsung, the 960s, the 860s, any of those Evos are really good drives.
Why don't you try that in the washing machine?
Yeah.
Well, I should do it.
It's time for a cleaning.
I just buy, I have several of these 1 terabyte ones. I just take them with me and use those as my backups when I'm out traveling.
I consider myself pretty lucky that I'm actually not. The only reason I require a lot of space is because I keep every single raw file. But as far as like being out in the field, I just don't need that much on my CF Express cards, And so like I find myself kind of fortunate on that because I don't do a lot of high speed shooting. Now, D-Moots, I can see you going through some because whenever I shot the dance team, that's the only time I've shot a lot of 20 frames a second raw.
Yeah, when you're doing,
I did fill those up.
Yeah, when you're doing birds in flight and then plus taking video and you can fill up some cards pretty quick. So I always every night when we get done, like my wife and I are traveling, we'll take our cards back and we dump them off onto our laptop and to these little SSD cards. So we have multiple backups going while we're traveling.
Charles Davis, good point. Like button reminder. Hit that like button, guys.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Good to see you in here this evening.
I need to find a good deal.
All right, he's got a question.
Yeah,
you guys.
I don't know what he means by PU slot.
Well, if it's on a Sony, of course it's a poo slot.
A poo slot.
Dual
PU.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know define what the PU means. I don't know what I don't like how I said that.
PU slot.
No, I'm not sure I understand it either, unless it's card slots, maybe, both.
Dual PU slots.
I don't know what
I don't know. I don't know either.
If it was just dual card slots, then you're gonna.
Well, all I know is if are they still using? Oh, you know what? Their slots do CFS Express A, and they also do SD. That's dual. You can do SD or CFX Express A. That's maybe what he's talking about.
Help us out, man. We'd love to answer your question.
Yeah, I bet that's what he's talking about. You can do 2 different types of cards in each slot.
Well, you could do that with the Z9. You could still put an XQD in.
But these are 2 different formats.
Completely different formats.
But those are different formats. But so you're not going to see an SD
if
No,
I
I
can,
don't think they're going to have SDs in the Nikon
I would
higher
agree.
end bodies.
and you're
Yeah.
never going to see a CFX Type A
Not a
in
Yeah.
Type A.
Nikon.
No.
I will
Well,
seriously. I would. That seems petty, but I would consider jumping ship if they did that with like a camera that I was anticipating. If for whatever reason they went to A's, I would just be. I just wouldn't own
no,
that
I
camera.
don't think it's A's, guys. I think it's SD.
Yeah, he's okay.
They
So
do, yeah. The
SD
Sonys do.
and
The Sonys
C.
do A and SD now.
In the
Yes.
same slot.
Yeah.
So that's what I think that's what he's talking about. And
Yeah.
I think he'll clarify it for us here in a minute. But, and I agree with you guys. Not that you couldn't use if they had that in the camera, not that you
Yeah.
couldn't use the SD card. And maybe some people would on other than a Z8 or a Z7 or a
Yeah.
Z9, So, yeah, that I don't know. Would it be a good idea if that's what he's talking about? And that's,
Well, I mean, depending on what you're shooting, SD cards are cheaper. They're not as fast, but so to some people that may be what they want.
right.
And I could see where that would be a good value to somebody if it did take two different types of cards in one
Yeah.
slot.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm a perfect example. Like one of the things I actually like about the Z6 is see I do backup, right?
Yeah.
I don't do rollover to the cards. And so I shoot everything on the CF with the CF Express card as the primary, but like you have to have an external transfer method for your CF Express Type B, and they're generally not that fast, right?
Yeah.
At least the one I have isn't. And like every computer or laptop that I've had has an SD reader that you just throw it right in. And so I like it. But if I
Okay,
was a
so-
full-time like wildlife guy, I can understand like you need the
Well,
speed.
And I don't think this would be aimed at anything like that. I don't think but it's fully capable of shooting 4K video on SD now.
Mhm.
So my question is, are we talking about cameras that wouldn't have two CF Express slots, just like we have right now with the 2 series on the Z6 and Z7? You got an SD slot and you got a CF Express slot. Would it make sense then to do that with the CF Express slot so you could run 2 SD cards? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I think I think there would be a lot of people that would like that just because they are cheaper if they can run SDs.
I would prefer that they have 2 CF Express B slots, the new models that come out.
Oh, me too. That's what I would prefer. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that, especially then, maybe if they were dual purpose, meaning each slot was CF Express B, or you could use an SD card, because there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that wouldn't care about the CF Express B.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I've got a bazillion of these things, these SD cards from over the years that I don't use anymore because I don't have anything to put them in.
And if those SD cards that you have are fast enough for 4K video, I could see people saying, man, that's the way I'm going to go because all I'm shooting is video and 4K video. And if SD cards suit the purpose and they're cheaper, then I could buy a pocket full of those.
Yeah. And you can still get like a terabyte SD drive, like they're out there. Right. So like the capacity is out there.
Is it possible they could make a dummy CFX Express B that you could put this thing in and people could use their SDs?
Well, you can already build your own CF Express B cards.
I know you can do that, but
I mean,
could you just slip this into a dummy one? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough space to do that. If you could, that'd be great.
I think Sony would make a ton of people happy if they just abandoned this.
Yeah,
this card.
That Type A is ridiculous. It's so expensive. It's slow.
Yeah,
it's really dumb.
And Neff, help us out, man. We're assuming that's what you meant, and if you just let us know.
Yeah, we all answered differently, but we actually don't know what the question
we were going to town, Yeah, we were going to town on this, and
Yeah.
you're probably going to come back and say, "No, I just
Yeah.
mistyped two mic inputs or something." I don't know.
I think that's what he's talking about, though. If I
I
had
think
to
so
guess,
too.
it's yeah.
You know, it'd be really interesting to see is to see Sony do one single card slot, just one, and see how many people love it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Oh, it would be the hottest things. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. Internal 2 terabyte SSD built into the cameras. Man, we went over this
Yeah.
a couple of streams ago. I'm just going to abstain from the discussion other than to say I don't agree. I don't want internal,
Neither
especially
do.
after our discussion about the lifespan of,
Yeah.
you know,
Can you imagine how expensive it would be to swap out your internal memory on your camera? It would have to be outrageously
I mean,
expensive.
it sounds great. Like, oh man, I don't have to mess with the card anymore. It really sounds great, but boy, I tell you what, if they did that, they better have some way to back it up. I still want. If they did that, I would still want two of these in there at least too.
There was a camera, and I don't remember. You guys may remember this because I think it was probably before my years shooting photography. But there was a camera, and I don't remember who made it. But it was it had internal memory, but it was RAM memory. So if your battery died, it was all
lost
gone. It was all
Yeah.
gone. I don't remember who made it.
crazy.
But, what a terrible idea.
yeah, it's just not, it's not something I would want, but again, if, that's what Nikon does or Canon or whoever, I guess we won't have much choice.
Yeah.
I just won't use it. I mean, surely there'll be a menu option to write to the cards first.
Oh,
that's what I'll do.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a second. Hang on.
Hold
Wait
the
a
phone.
Oh,
Chuck. Jeff.
Stu Real Blue is
Stu
in the house. Man, how you been, buddy?
I've been real good. Been real good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm better now.
What are we talking about, guys? What's the topic?
What do you want to talk about?
Man, we've been all over the board.
Yeah, that's how it
You
works.
know how
here,
it
man.
goes. Yeah, you know how it goes here.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good to see you, man. You been busy or what? What's going on in
Well,
life?
I kind of have. I've been away. I've been away from the tubes.
Okay.
Been away from.
We're gonna have to start calling you Stu Clear because you're just like this is clear. There's just you're just not there.
Yeah.
I miss your content, man. I need the
You know
energy.
what? I appreciate it. Thank you. I thank you very much. I don't know what I'm gonna do on the YouTube. I got just so overwhelmed. I hate keep saying it, but
I've been there.
No. I've still got my Nikon still here. Here's my lovely ZFC here.
Oh man.
Is
Still
that
doing
the 400-45?
Oh,
it. This is the 70 to 200 with the
Nice.
Stendo. It's a good one. Jeffrey, how are you?
good. How you doing, man?
Doing really good. Doing
Man,
real good.
long time no see. Miss you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Miss you too. Where are you living now, Chuck? Are you still like in Connecticut?
Yeah, brother, I'm still in Connecticut. I just can't break away from Connecticut.
He ain't ever leaving. He loves it there. He ain't ever leaving.
I've got another dumpster in the driveway that I'm filling up. I've filled
hot water
two
heater go out
30-yard
again?
dumpsters, and I got a 15-yard out there that's almost full now. I can't believe how much junk we have accumulated.
Yeah.
Wait till you throw out all your camera gear. You'll need another 15-yard dumpster.
Yeah,
Yep.
you'll need another dumpster.
Yeah. I
Just
need a
let me know
dumpster.
before you do that so I can become an official dumpster diver.
Well, man, it's so good to see you, Chris. I'm so happy, man. You look happy. That's always a good thing. I like when people show up out of nowhere and hadn't seen them in a while and they're happy.
Yeah, I had the urge to say hi. A little birdie from Passad told me to come and say hi. So
Cool. Well, I'm glad.
so life's been good. We're getting cold now. We're in the winter. Sucks.
Yep.
It's like 12
Yeah.
degrees here in Utah. It's been ice cold here.
Oh man.
Mm.
Woof.
And it's like the worst kind of cold because there's like no clouds, and
Yeah.
so all the hot air just like it just goes away. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. It's cold out here in Connecticut, although we've had more reasonable weather than a lot of people in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I don't know if it just hasn't arrived here yet or not. It's cold now. Don't get me wrong. It's down in the upper 20s in low 30s at night, and with the wind blowing. But
Mm.
I follow your weather out there only because I spent so much time in Salt Lake City, and I've got a friend that lives in Logan, and he called
Oh
me.
wow.
Yeah, he called me the other night. We talked for a while. He said that you're still waiting for the big snow.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's like up where that's like where I'm working now.
okay, all right,
Chuck's
Cool.
Chuck's lying. He's following the weather because he missed you so much that he's taken on a stalker
True.
persona.
true,
He's like, I wonder,
I have
wonder
to
what
know
Stu
the
Blue's
weather.
doing.
true, absolutely true.
He's used to Google Maps and Google Earth, and he's down to about 10 houses that he thinks might be yours. This is why you need to come back to YouTube, man. Chuck's gone crazy.
There are some people that think that.
Chuck's
Well, that's how
gone
it goes.
wild. Chuck gone wild.
He had to reposition his camera to hide the shrine. It's getting weird over here, Chris.
Well, let me ask you a question, brother. Have you followed the news, the photo community news at all? Okay.
Isn't that crazy? I just
No, that's why you're so happy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Chuck, shut down this live stream, man. I'm ready to be happy like Chris.
I'm waiting
took
for him to
my-
get up and say, "Free at last! Free at last!"
I took my camera to work the other day, and I had a great time. Just shot some pictures, nothing special, but I remember looking at it and just being like, "Gosh, I wonder when the next Z6 is coming out." And stuff. And I was like, "I don't have a clue. I don't even know." Like,
That's
I'm
all
not
right. We
with
don't either. So
yeah,
Well,
I'm good, sir. Thank you. How are you?
there are certain people that people ask for all the time. You happen to be one of them.
Oh,
Where's Stu Blue? What's he doing? What's going on? And of course, because everybody loves Josh, they ask about Josh,
miss him.
and hey, they're just taking a break or something. I don't know. Maybe they need to.
Yeah,
I've been
I'm
there.
not
I took
sure.
a break for like 8 months, man. I got burnt.
Oh,
I
that's
need
good.
to.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Getting
I need
burnout
to,
sucks,
but I'm
taking that
stuck.
break,
I've
that's nice.
I've painted myself into a corner with these live streams, so I'm out of luck, man.
You have your rabid fan base.
You're just gonna
Yes.
have, instead of robo calls, you're gonna have to have robo streams.
I got to check now. Watch my subscriber base go up. Stu
Ooh.
Blue. Oh
Oh
man.
man. Well, so I left law enforcement, completely retired. Did damn near as makes no difference, 20 years, and now I'm out. And now I'm cultivating marijuana at a
Okay.
legal grow here in Utah, a corporate grow. And I've lost 30 pounds, and it's been like the best
Wow,
like
man.
3 months of my life. It's been great.
That's great. That's great. How's
Yeah.
the family?
Really good. Really good. My
Good.
3-year-old is about to become a 4-year-old here in about like a few weeks, and that's terrifying me. It's freaking me out. And
Well, happy birthday from all of us here.
oh, she'll love that. Yeah, that's really just where I've been. I think about YouTube all the time, and I want to get back.
Oh boy! Wait, his nose is growing. His nose is growing. I want to get back.
And I do, but it's. I had a hard time. I struggled. One of the hard things I kept struggling with is I just kept struggling to come up with Nikon news, with Nikon material. I wanted to kind of branch out and do other things, and so I came back for a minute there and had a good time. And I don't know, I just got really sucked into this the cannabis lifestyle, I guess, and I I guess I got really lazy. I don't know.
Well, hey, just start. Just
Well,
start.
wait a minute. Something
Well, it
doesn't
made you too
connect.
happy, and you don't want to go backwards.
Start
Something
a
doesn't
new
connect.
YouTube. Start a new YouTube channel called Stu Green, and you know what it's about.
Green.
Stu
So
Green.
I have Undercover. Now it's not, I don't have any videos on there yet, but it's called Blue Dab. And that is, that will be, yeah, but I haven't put anything out there yet. You know, I haven't,
Okay.
I haven't done anything there just because I know that once I start, I want to get into it and I want to go like full send. So now that our harvest season is over, I probably would have quite a bit more time here because we're not growing anything now. It's too cold.
I feel
So-
like your energy and your humor we obviously we'll miss you in like the camera sphere, the YouTube camera sphere, but with your humor and your energy and your new career, that would be one of the most fun channels to watch. I feel like you could do some amazing content like that. I'm being
It'd be
serious.
so much
I'm
fun
being
and just
serious.
have like everyone on there and just be like, hey, let's just talk about your favorite herbal delight.
your requests for YouTube collaborations would skyrocket. You would have to shut down your email. Like it's just going off all the time.
Yeah, the federales are going to be on me because I got my stash over here.
All right, I'm sitting there like a 5-year-old again, shaking my knees, bouncing my feet, and everything else. All right, so you guys keep anybody out there in the chat, or as far as viewers go, you want to ask Stu a question, jump on it. We may not see him again for a while.
might
Get
be
it
a
while
minute.
you can.
Oh, Vahagan,
right.
I miss you, buddy. I did. See, we got to get together. I know he's watching, and it's like we got to meet in Vegas, and we got to make that horror film that him and I were going to make. God, where does the time go? And how is good day, mate? What's his Matt Irwin? How's he
Matt
doing?
Irwin,
Yeah.
as happy as ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier. Just absolutely one-sided on his happiness.
Happy.
good.
You must have shipped them some of your stuff.
Yeah, something.
They need it down there in Australia. They're awfully tight down there.
I since you're not following the camera scene that much, for better obviously, and you were talking about this horror film that you're going to make with Vahagan. Whatever that idea is, throw it out, and you guys just dress up as Nikon marketing reps because that is a horror show, an absolute horror show.
Oh my God, that's it. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Write it down. Okay. So we're two reps and we're in the desert. We're lost in the desert and we're trying to find people to sell to, but we're lost in the desert.
And you're
Genius.
digging through the sand, and all of a sudden you find a Z8.
Yeah.
You thought that Avatar: Way of the Water was going to be a blockbuster? That's the move right there.
Yeah. Oh, and Frames too. That's right, bro. Let's get him. Oh man, I miss him. Dude, Cannabis Green.
Cannabis green, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one. I like that color. That'll be a good one. Yeah, that's right. We need someone to be a clown like the Terrorizer or something.
You need to you need to cultivate something that's got like a yellowish hue to it with some black hairs on it and call it the Knicker Matte strand.
Let's see if
He's gonna see. He's like, I might have that already.
I might have something here. Let's see.
If it stays in the box long enough, it might change colors anyway.
This one's a good color here. This one's green. Oh, this has some black hairs on it here. Yeah.
And then, hey, you also need one called the Meyer Optic Gerblitzed.
I actually was thinking about I wanted to grow my own strain and have it called like dynamic balance or like dynamic contrast Nikon or something, you know, like some stupid
Right.
silly thing that Nikon users just love. Here, let's see if that one will. There we go. Oh, it's gonna try and track my eye though, huh? Yeah.
And by the way, YouTube algorithm, that is a Brussels sprout. Okay?
Yeah, that is for dinner, guys.
That's a Brussels sprout.
Oh, poor Chuck's live stream.
I thought it was a small sprig of asparagus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was the head of some asparagus. I'm sorry, I don't know my vegetables. Yeah, need to
Need to
I
call
need to
the
call it
Skittles,
Skittles.
Yeah.
That's right. Actually, I just had a guy at work, and he was telling me that his granny taught him to mix in like what is it, like cinnamon milk into the plants that she used to grow.
Wow.
Yeah, so like you could it would kind of give it like a flavor, like because like I guess like the milk and eggs and stuff is good for the protein of the plants or whatever, and you could mix in like the flavors that you'd get from the leftover bowl of cereal, so like Cocoa Puffs or whatever. You could mix in those flavors and you could get a little bit of that flavor. I'm like, dude, your
Built-
granny is hardcore, man.
Built-in naming. Built-in naming, too.
What have you
cool.
guys been
Cocoa
shooting
Puff.
lately? Have you guys been out doing anything exciting with your camera? Changing the world?
My channel pretty much switched primarily to actual shooting photography. I had a gear meltdown since last time I saw you, and I basically sold everything that was like collector, and just down to the stuff that I use. And I
Doesn't that feel
switched my
good?
channel over to oh gosh, it did. I've switched it over to like I don't do speculation except on here on the live streams when we talk gear, but I don't talk it on my channel. I go out, I shoot once a week. I have a Z5 photo dump that
Nice.
literally takes me like 20 minutes. They're like a minute and a half long, and it's just pictures that I took from the week. It's so simple like to do those, and I just got tired of the gear, man. I was just like, dude, somebody called me a talking head, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't hardly put out any photography. I talk. It's like, so that's what I've been shooting, man. Still doing my portraits and stuff.
Good for you. That's great. We had the most beautiful but fleeting autumn season here in Utah. It was one of the most beautiful ones we've ever had. But I swear to God, it was about 3 weekends long, and that's all we had here. It went from like the 98-degree, like mid-September, to now like 9 degrees here in November. Like it was so quick.
Same.
So,
We had
but
a
it was
weird-
beautiful.
Same way here in Kansas.
Yeah, we had a weird one, and that it actually kind of sucks because like that's a good year for the kind of stuff that's a good time of year.
Mhm.
But the thing was, it's like when are the colors going to change? And then the colors finally changed, but it was like too warm that nobody would do the Christmassy fall sweaters. It was like they're out here in t-shirts with beautiful colorful colors because it's like too warm for the right attire. And then now everything's starting to turn gray. And so it's just like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, now we're in like the clutches of winter, so everything sucks outside. It's too cold. You can't go out. The canyons are all snowed in, and it's just like. So it's like I feel like my camera is going to go into hibernation for like 3 months until we start getting some melt.
So I didn't know you were. I swore that you were in Seattle. I didn't know you were in Utah.
No, yeah, I've always here in the great state of Utah.
What's weird in Utah, the summer of 2005, we went up over the summer to go to Yellowstone, and my aunt and uncle lived somewhere in Utah, but they actually took us up. It was weird for me because we lived in Mississippi. They like took us up to like the mountains and stuff like that, and it was like there was snow up there in like July or June, and I was like, this is weird for like a Mississippian, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, well, that's actually weird for Utah. We can get some up there in June, but I haven't seen it too much in Utah.
It was probably June.
July.
Yeah, it was probably June. We were up. That is beautiful up there, though, man.
Oh, I love it here. Yeah,
man, it's so pretty up there. Yellowstone too, man. I wish.
Oh my God, I know.
I never even dreamed of being a photographer whenever I was that age, but gosh, I want to go back, man.
I want to see a video of you going through the slot canyons on one of those little saucers or something. If there's snow out there.
Like in Christmas Vacation.
That is still one of the funniest scenes in any movie ever when he launches off.
Later, dudes.
Yeah. I've seen that movie probably 3 times every Christmas season, and I still cry laughing every time the flames fly off the back, dude. It's such a funny scene. That's a tradition whenever I was a kid. We used to watch it every year.
Nice, V. Take your Cavatier. Oh man. How's the weather out back east in Connecticut? Is it like 10 degrees?
Well, not quite 10 yet, which is really unusual for us because we're always, the typical winter here is wet and cold, whether it's snow or rain. But it was a very dry summer here, which was unusual in my 18 years up here. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the weather.
So I almost it was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, Chuck, you had sent me an email about one of your live streams and just an open invitation for anyone to join. And I tried so hard to get it to connect just on my phone. I was in the cannabis fields there, and I wanted everyone to see them because these plants were like 7-8 feet tall, you know. And I was just like, dude, I'm going to blow everyone's mind. I'm here in the middle of this beautiful, but the internet there is, it kept
Yeah,
giving me errors.
I can imagine. Well, you're welcome anytime, Chris.
I appreciate
Anytime,
it.
buddy.
Yeah,
I
I
send
appreciate
out I send out invites to a lot of people, and I just keep sending. And then after a while, I figure, well, they're busy. They don't want to, they and the times may be inconvenient or whatever. But yeah, man, anytime you want to join, all you have to do is jump in the chat and say, hey, I want to come in and talk.
Yeah,
And
right on.
You're in, brother.
I mean, we only come because Chuck ships us M&Ms once in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm only here because Chuck promises that Chris Stublu is going to be here every weekend, and it
Yeah.
just
Every
See?
day is another disappointment.
Well, I'm just happy to see you, man. You always bring so much energy, and that's what makes you so so special. You're so
Uh-oh.
special.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
You're
Oh, what's
he's-
happening?
uh,
That's
technical difficulties. This
Dude,
is
I'm the
normal for
sax
Chuck's
man.
channel.
Chuck. We have the raunchiness in the chat. You better block them.
Yep.
Well, let me see
Oh.
if I can-
Oh no.
Ah.
All right.
Hello.
There you go.
Sorry, I went away there for a minute. Drop my camera.
That's all right. So,
Oh.
Greg wants to know if you talked or heard from Josh.
You know, I haven't, and I've like held my phone so many times this last like maybe 2 or 3 months, just thinking, oh, I should just reach out, and maybe I should I should get on it and do that, but no, I haven't. I haven't yet, and so I don't know anything. Oh, what kind of birds do you get in the cannabis fields?
Now there's a
Well,
there's
they
a
fly really high, is what I
Yeah.
You can't
there's a
see 'em.
viral photo, man. A photo of something sitting on a plant. See if
Fro
anybody
knows.
notices.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'd do it. I'd take a picture. That'd be sweet. Get some cool bird on there.
Uh,
Oh, I lost the
Nice.
chat in the
Yeah, I lost the chat too. Something about
in the studio window.
embedded link is invalid. Whatever
Yeah.
the heck that means.
what is going on? What is going on?
Maybe it's tea time.
Ah,
I have no idea what's going on. I still have the.
Chuck, how's your family? How's your wife?
She's doing fine. She gave me a stern talking to last night. I brought that up earlier because I don't ask for subscribers often enough.
So she chewed you out for that?
Yes, she's more.
Good
she's
woman.
more. Hey, she's more concerned with it than I am.
Black helicopter.
I'm having fun, and I told her as long as I'm having fun, it'll happen. But I guess my drive to gain fame on YouTube isn't as high as what you would expect or want.
It's a roller coaster. It can be much, It's
No,
a
it
bummer. Like
can.
the
It
more
take-
that I would create and the more that I would put out, I would get disappointed with myself, or I would get just, I don't know, disinterested. It would be tough. I don't know how. I mean, there are people that just eat, sleep, and drink YouTube. Even
Yeah.
like Vahagen, I mean, man, he puts out videos like every 18 minutes, and Matt Irwin does the same. Matt Irwin's putting new stuff out all the time, and I'm always just
Yep.
like, how do you guys do it? You know,
It's tough.
got to be committed.
Yep, absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
don't sleep, man. They get no sleep.
But Chris, everybody believes that we're all in this to earn a living. And maybe you can explain how that's absolutely crazy to say
Why does
that.
it cost me money then, Chuck? It costs me money, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't even get free Coke out of the deal, nothing. And I do free advertising for Coca-Cola. Look, did they send me any Coke? No, I get nothing.
Thanks, V. God, I miss you guys.
And that's so true. Well, you know what? Just jump in from time to time on a stream, and let that build the desire again. But I understand what you're saying. It does take away from your family a whole lot of things. You're so right. It's not just the 5 minutes that a video runs or the hour that a live stream runs. There's so much behind the scenes that takes up so much of your time.
I did a lot.
Plus, you need to make sure your mic works every once in a while. So
yeah, you gotta dust it off.
Yeah. Equipment testing.
I did what Wade was talking about. I sold a lot of gear, and I still have like the core gear that I use. I run and gun and do all that kind of stuff with. But I sold a lot of it, and it was great. I was really happy to do that. Just kind of make things a little bit more simple.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So where are you on the want need? Which side are you on? Want or need? You have to need something to buy it, or you can buy it if you want it.
Oh man, you buy it if you want it, bro.
All right.
That's the point of buying stuff.
That's what I like to hear. Because there's a lot of preaching going on about, do you need it? If you don't need it, just shut up and whatever. Do you really need it? Do you need a Z9? No, but I want it.
Well,
cool.
Do I need glasses? Yeah. If not, a lot of accidents are going to happen.
You're a handsome devil with them on, so I'd keep them.
Well, I got to have them on to cover up the puffiness from all the YouTube work under the eyes.
Yeah. You know what did wonders for my eyes and my puffiness? Weed.
No, that's what I was going to say earlier. How is it that you're in this business and you're losing weight?
Oh yeah, that's an oxymoron. How did that happen?
Do you guys have like a big box of chips or something out there?
Oh, yeah. Look, I've got right next to my stash.
Oh, damn.
And then I've got the fridge over here, and it's full of all sorts of goodies.
That's
Dang,
good,
I'm hungry all of a sudden.
I medicate with it. Is really what I do. I medicate with cannabis, and I can isolate things that help me lose my appetite for daytime use. So I do that a lot. And then in the evening, I can get something that increases my appetite. And so then I can eat. And so, but it has made fasting a lot easier. And so that's, yeah.
Well,
plus I lost weight because I got out of that goddamn law enforcement job and all that stress. I stopped chewing my nails. I mean, it was just, I can't believe like how much better I feel and how much better I am. And a lot of that is due to just getting away from just the job that law enforcement it was taking too much, not giving back enough.
Well, you look good, and
Thank you.
I'm glad, and you sound great. So I'm happy for you.
It's been a really positive. It's been like a summer of transition for me. I no longer take anything that's prescribed. I don't have any ibuprofen. I medicate on my own, and I do a great job there and feeling good, and I'm active now. And so it's going to always be like a top 5 year.
All right. Good deal.
It only took me 40 some years, but yeah.
Oh, I'm happy for you, man. I'm so happy you jumped in here tonight.
I am too. I miss you guys. I miss every one of you.
Had anybody known that you were going to be on here tonight, I guarantee you there'd be even more people in here because, as Vaughan said earlier, you've got so many fans, man.
I
You'd have
appreciate it.
1,000 subscribers by now, Chuck, if they knew
Yeah,
Stu Blue was
yeah.
coming.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to be a part of that horror film, Chuck. Come out to Vegas with us. We'll shoot that horror film. We'll get
I am.
we'll
We're
get
all,
them
we're all
stubbies up.
going out there. We're all going out for WPPI in March.
Oh, in March?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Jody.
You're only 5 hours away, man.
Yeah. I'm dying to go to Vegas. I would love to.
Yeah.
Woo.
We're trying to get as many people as we can to do a big meetup out there at WPPI.
I keep getting the kind of an invite for it every year, and I remember, I can't remember if it was this year or the year before. I'm losing my memory, but I can't remember which one of those years it was. But I mean, like my bags were packed and everything, and then something happened in the with the family though. Someone got uber sick or something, and then I couldn't go. And that was, I think that was 2 years ago. I think that was right when I was in the middle of being Stu Blue and everything. I think that was right in there. I wanted to get down there, but yeah. God, the Grays, I haven't watched them. I haven't watched them in months, maybe a year.
Wow.
Are they're still going strong?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every Friday morning live stream.
Oh, that's right. They do. Maybe I'll jump on. I forgot they did that, man. I'm glad you remember.
Be a little early for you. I think for you it's about 7:15 in the morning.
Yeah, it is. It's early, but I don't. Now it's fine. Don't care.
There you go, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, Jeffrey.
So what is new in the camera business? What's going on?
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Well, because it's holiday, right? So we got to have something ramping up from one of these big companies, right?
Well, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Okay. Do you want me to smoke weed live on your show?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We'd like you to send some to Nikon.
Yeah.
Get them to calm down. What's going on? Are they just not doing anything?
It's been a very quiet year. Contrary to what others will say, it's been a very dry year for Nikon.
Oh,
Let me get Jeffrey back in here. All right. Yeah. Did you get your chat back, Jeffrey?
No, I'm here, but I have no audio. Can't hear anybody.
So you made
I'll
things
just
worse.
read lips, that's all. Watch what you say.
We can hear you.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, man. Can you hear yet, Jeffrey? I guess not. All right. We'll let him get it sorted out.
So what are you guys going to shoot now that the
don't
snow's
know.
coming down and we're getting ice cold? Like, what do you guys, do you have any
Leave
plans on
again.
shooting anything?
I'll
Why is this
be
happening?
shooting, since I do nothing but wildlife. I'll be shooting, eagles, and once they start moving in down here and the snow geese and all that, I'll be mainly eagle focused.
Where in the country are you?
I'm in Kansas, just out of downtown Kansas City.
Oh, okay. So what time of the year, like, do you got like a 45-day window there where you get a lot of eagles that are migrating through?
Yeah, it's really kind of depends. It varies. It really depends on the geese. When the snow geese start arriving, the eagles are right behind them. That's their main food source that they follow down through here as they're migrating through. So we have a place that's not too far from us called Los Bluffs that we go to. There'll be 300, 400, 500 eagles up there when it gets heavy.
Damn.
Lots of snow geese, tundra swans, you name it. There's a lot of wildlife that goes through that area.
Chuck, what's on your agenda?
Moving. Really throwing more crap away. I'm just.
I feel like you've been moving the entire time that I've known you. Like, I feel like you're like the wealthiest transient I've ever met.
I have, brother. I have, man. And it's just one thing. And also I'm rebuilding the house. It's like everything's going out, and every month it's here's another $2,500. Here's another $3,000.
That's good that you're rebuilding it just in time to get out. And
Give
Well,
it
I'm
to
not doing,
somebody else.
yeah, and I'm not doing it because I want to. But how many people want a house that has a cesspool in the backyard? My lift pump and my septic tank went just recently.
just
It's
sounds
one
like
thing
a
after another, man. I'll tell you, if it wasn't illegal, I'd throw a match in the door and walk away.
Well, now that I'm no longer in the law enforcement business, I don't see a problem.
I said if it, I said if it wasn't illegal, my insurance company. I did say if it wasn't, I'm not going to do it. And Vaughan
I'm going
says
to call
sell as is, and
Travelers right now.
this is exactly what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to
Yeah,
sell
just
as
sell it as
is.
is.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do. All I got to do is remove the rest of the clutter, and then that's it. Mama said she doesn't want the furniture or anything. She wants to buy all new where we're going. And,
Yeah, I like that.
okay. I said, okay. Makes it a little easier to move. That's for certain.
Tell her
But
you're
yeah,
gonna have to throw out your studio stuff because you want all new when you go there too, Chuck.
Yeah, now that's not going to fly, but
I like that bag of M&Ms there on your screen. I'd like to eat those.
Now you're hungry.
Uh-huh.
got to have my M&Ms, man.
Good. Good.
That's what keeps me going for 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours. Our record's 5 hours and 30 something minutes. So you're in
God
for the long
diggity.
haul tonight.
Wow. I don't know if I've got 5 hours in me, Brew. How many hours are you into it now?
Just 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's double digit. We're halfway there. I feel like, all right.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely ain't got that in me tonight. I'm getting
I
ready
don't
to
think
get out
I'm
of
going to
here
make
after
it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it for a record breaker for certain. Been out in the cold all day. I'm whining,
What were you doing in the cold?
throwing crap out in the dumpster I have in the driveway.
Got a 15-foot dumper.
Well, you are a little red in the face, Chuck. You must have gotten frozen a little bit.
No, I took a shot of whiskey when I walked away.
It's that, yeah.
Help you warm up.
That's the Irish Native American in me. What a combination.
I do have the munchies.
Yeah, we'll just wave food at you.
You can keep your pretzels.
We were talking about Matt Irwin earlier.
Okay.
He's got to be the nicest guy in the world, and I
On
finally
planet Earth.
figured out who he is. He is the Mr. Rogers of YouTube.
Mr. Rogers of YouTube. I think he's.
Or maybe he's really Santa Claus.
I always thought that he was more like Mad Max or something from Australia there.
Oh, I don't know, man. No, not because he's so nice.
Yeah. All the time. He's always happy.
Always
Take-
happy and
take-
nice, man. Are you sending
it
him
easy.
cannabis?
Jeff and Leslie, take it easy.
I wish. Hey, have a good night. Yeah, he wishes. Let's see. Am I watching any movies lately? Oh, I just bought Nope. That was $9.99 on like iTunes, so I bought that today. I'll probably watch that pretty quick. I'm real excited to see it. Can't
Yeah.
wait.
I want to see it too. I haven't watched
Oh,
it.
and I'm just about to finish the final season of The Crown. It's excellent. It's a tearjerker. It's real good. That's a good one. And I'm always watching What We Do in the Shadows. I watch that series just on repeat. I feel like there's 2 or 3 other humans that watch that with me, but I watch that like every night. That's a good one. I can't think of anything else though.
Here's your chance. Stu Blue is in. What are your questions? Pick his brain for all his wonderful video
My
making
spongy
knowledge.
green knowledge.
Now you still have all your production gear, your video gear, and everything.
Yeah, I think I've got just about everything. I've sold. I still have my 51.8. I thought I had sold it. I'm still ready to do it. So I got all the gear. Yeah, I've got the screen and everything. Yeah. And I've still got my 2 cameras between the ZFC and the Z6 too. I mean, I can shoot about anything. So, and I can't part with that 20 or the 70 to 200. That lens is the greatest piece of glass on earth.
Somebody was asking about it earlier,
Yeah.
considering buying it right now while there's a rebate.
Oh, is there?
$300 off, I think.
It's $300 off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, God, it it was one of those things. I had to buy mine when I had the money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those things where I went years. I never had a 70 to 200, and then there was a rebate when I bought mine because it was about $200 or $300 off, and I just happened to have that money, and done. I just did it.
You can't go wrong. It's a sweet lens.
Yeah.
I get a
don't own
little
it
bit
yet.
of onioning maybe out of like when it's at wide open, like 2.8. Sometimes the bokeh has kind of an onion shape to it, but it's not too bad. It's all right.
Jose just said he's down in Puerto Rico. Just said, let's not forget about Peter Gregg. He's I think the Santa of YouTube. That's true. I forgot about Peter. I love his intro.
I'll have to take a look. I don't know if I've heard of him.
No kidding.
Yeah,
You got to check him out, man. Peter Gregg.
God,
His
those
intro,
M&Ms.
his intro's so funny.
So good.
Sit back and relax. You're about to. I can't say it verbatim. Enjoy another entertaining something with Peter Gregg.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Okay.
And yes, I have watched Ozark. Let's see. Oh, and my favorite video. What is Stu's favorite video that he made? Hey, I loved that video that I did in the Soviet Union with the old, where we're interrogating the ZFC and pretending it was like a Russian camera or some damn thing. I was a good one. I had a lot of fun doing that one. That one kind of came together really well. I did a really fun video about drug use and creativity, and I really put my heart and soul in that. Was probably my favorite video. But I feel like only about 100 people saw that one. That's the tragedy with YouTube is that those videos that you do like 40 or 50 hours into, and they mean so much, and they're just perfectly done, just get viewed by so little as comparative to videos like this, where you're just off the cuff and you're just doing your thing and you just push it out there. It's great. This is what people want to see, and I got to remember that. I've been trying to train myself on the 80% rule, and not that 80% is good enough, but we tend to go down these rabbit holes. We tend to just full send 100%, and it's like things would be better at 80%. Like if you just draw yourself back just a little bit, and I think things would be better. And I think if I get back into like the YouTube game, I think that's exactly what I'll do, is you get so committed to a video and you just got to take a step back and chill and it'll be all right.
Well, and you talked about the video, that your favorite video, and maybe got 100 views or whatever. I'm sure it got more than that, but isn't that the case though? Something you think is great, and it's like it just kind of flops out there. And then the most ridiculous thing in the world is a video, or even for me, a live stream where I think, man, that's a terrible live stream tonight, and that's the one that gets more views than anything.
Yeah. I can't remember how many videos I did where I was just like, hey, blah, 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 and it just blew up. It was so good. And then the ones I was actually going outside and filming intros for and doing special effects and all this kind of stuff just got, a quarter of the views, which is, again, it's okay. But yeah.
The car video.
Yeah. I loved that 50 millimeter 1.2. And that was a fun intro. That was, my wife helped me with that. And I broke one of my lights. I had a light that was similar to this, and I clamped it in like a C-clamp so I could carry it like a torch, and I clamped it too tight and it broke. And I was like, damn, dude, that's my favorite light. And now I couldn't like bring it back, but that was a really good video. I had a lot of fun doing that.
We got a question. What do you guys think about Affinity Suite from Seraph?
Is Affinity, is that photo editing or is that video editing?
I've
I'm
never
waiting.
used it.
I've never heard of it, so I have no.
Okay. I was waiting for somebody that might have used it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jose. The name does ring a bell, but I haven't. Are they the ones that do?
You say in photo, it's for photos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
don't think
never used it.
No, I haven't either. I can't help you either, Jose.
Yeah, sorry, bud.
We're see
What's the
once again, we are totally useless.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Once again, we don't know shit. That's how I feel.
I'm gonna break in here real quick. I'm gonna get off of here for the night, guys. It was good seeing everybody.
All right, David.
And,
Same here, Dave.
we'll catch you Wednesday or definitely during the photo show for sure.
All right.
All
right.
right. There, but we'll talk to everybody later. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
Thanks for dropping by, David.
Yeah,
Enjoy
see ya.
you.
Take care.
Always enjoy you being in here. Have a good night.
Later.
I had to make the decision this year with Adobe because I do that, it's like $30 a month and you get access to all of their all of their apps. And I do that every year. It's like a Black Friday deal. And so you cancel your Adobe account like a week before Black Friday, and then Black Friday comes out and you get it for $30 a month for a year. And I had to really do like some soul search, and I was just like, am I going to do it again? Because it's another year commitment, and I haven't made a video in probably 4 months, but I did it. I decided to go back through it, and so I'll be paying the subscription every month, but I couldn't give it up, because I know that I want to do it again, and I know that when I want to do it, if it's not there, I'm going to be totally bummed.
Yeah.
Well, hey, just do it at a slower rate, man. Even if you put something out once every 3 weeks or something. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you're
No,
trying to
absolutely. It does. It worked. What I think happened with this summer is it just was such a transitional summer for me. I really did go through a lot of changes. I don't know if it was midlife crisis, even though I hope I don't live another 40 years, but I don't know if it was something like that, or just getting out of law enforcement really opened my eyes, and it really helped me find some balance. And so just kind of maybe knocking the dust off for a minute, but I'll get back in there.
I know how you feel, man. It was the same way with retiring and then, stopping all the contracting. Yeah. It took, I had to learn how to reintegrate into public life again.
Yeah.
My wife's been really, a central figure in getting me back to normal. I tell people, I talk to Vahagan, and I tell him ways I'd like to respond to some of the stuff that goes on YouTube. That's the old me. It wouldn't do me any good, but I'd feel better. But my wife's done a good job of retraining me. You don't have to be that way.
That's nice of her. That's a good woman.
But I don't understand exactly what you went through, but I do understand that changing,
of course,
occupation, especially when you're in an occupation that's, so demanding. Everything in you, every day you're using everything in you mentally and physically, and it has it takes a toll on you, brother.
Yeah, it certainly did. Yeah, so I appreciate you empathizing with that. It's yeah, but it's been a good transition though. I'm such a better person for it now, and so much healthier too. My God, I'm in such great health compared to where I was even just 6 months ago.
And that's great, man.
Yeah.
And it shows. I mean, you seem happy.
I appreciate it.
You just putting on a front for us here?
No, it might be the cannabis talking. That is.
Well, when his screen was flickering, I think I saw him doing this a few times.
There you go.
I think sour pineapple is today's cannabis strain.
So Vahagan just put out a video, and I don't know
Okay.
if you've seen it, but about the crime right now. An episode that happened out there in California where the two thugs are trying to steal a photographer's gear. He's there shooting his with his clients, and several people, I guess, got it on video on their cell phone. But they beat the guy with a gun. They
Oh
pistol
my
whip
God.
him, but he won't let go of the camera gear, his camera bag. And his reason for that, he states, is the fact that he just didn't want, it wasn't the camera gear, it was the photos that he had taken for his client, and he didn't want to
Wow.
give them up. But this is becoming more and more prevalent across the U.S. And Vaughan did a great job of calling it out and making a challenge to other YouTubers to do the same thing. And I don't know. I don't know. Have you all, has Salt Lake City experienced any of this
So the
recently?
reason that I'm a Nikon shooter is because my Canon cameras and all of my Canon lenses all were stolen from me in Salt Lake
Wow.
in 2015, maybe 2015 or 14. I lost everything, and I was at a professional studio, a studio that I worked in, and
Man.
I was getting ready to do a bunch of shoots for it's Naya Modeling Management here in Salt Lake. Just some of their new talent and stuff needed headshots and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was going to be just a fun, easy, like $300 day. And then I put my camera down. I put my bags down. I had a shoulder bag and a camera bag, and I went off to go find like a fan at the back of the studio. When I came back, I was probably gone 90 seconds. And they had walked in, taken it, and gone. And let me tell you, I had my badge, I had my service weapon with me, and I mean that could have gotten so much more violent, so much
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, someone in that room and then stealing my stuff. I time to gone to the mat.
Yeah.
It would have been ugly.
It just
But
seemed,
yeah, and so then I for a minute there, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. And uh, got some insurance money, and my parents gave me a couple $1,000, and which was great of them, and I was able to replace my gear, and I went with Nikon. But yeah, I mean, everything was stolen. Now that encounter didn't happen to be violent, but it would have been if it had been 10 seconds later or earlier. If I had just been there, it would have maybe even resulted in a casualty. I mean, it would have been a
yeah.
real ugly moment. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think that. I think that crime has gotten more brazen in certain areas, and California is always kind of on the cusp of that, I think, and not trying to put California down at all, but it seems like what happens in the West when it comes to our problems that we encounter here are not born in California, but they usually happen there first, just with the insane amount of people, the politics being torn up and down right now in California. And it's just nuts. And yeah, so I mean, and Jose is just talking about how New York, New York's probably the same for the East Coast. It's probably
Yeah.
that's those same trends, come out, be it drugs, violence, pain, hate, whatever kind of abuse, it just it spreads. So hopefully, Salt Lake can resist that kind of mentality. But we are lucky here in Salt Lake that we are a big city, but it is still a small community. And, we're very thankful out here in Utah for that. So, and, our politics have gotten a little screwy here, but they have everywhere. I don't think there's a safe zone in the country right now.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Everyone thinks they have the right idea, and yet nothing good seems to be coming of it. So, and I'm certainly not going to take sides, and I'm not going to politically bash here, but it's not helping. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's just getting worse and worse. And poor photographers. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's only photographers. It's not, of course. But I don't know what you do for the photographers that want to go to these venues, these popular areas. And guess what? They're a magnet for people that know that, and you're an easy target. And I don't know how to combat it. I don't know what we do.
Yeah, you have to try and keep smart. You have to try and be proactive.
Mhm.
And that's the tough thing about crime is you never know exactly what will spark or what will happen. But being as proactive as possible will help avoid as much as possible. That's for sure.
Yeah. It wasn't too long ago, the photographer had somebody or some people follow him
Hmm.
from where he was shooting home and, robbed him of his gear in his driveway. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah, when you go out and you have five and six, $7,000 worth of gear just attached to you, and
Yeah.
then the gear that's in your car or in wherever you're working on top of that. I mean, it doesn't take it doesn't take an organized crime lord to know that that's an easy mark, and yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, and I don't have an answer for it. We talked about this
No.
earlier, but, the only thing I honestly, I believe that camera manufacturers, that are represented here in the US, be it Nikon USA, Canon USA, Sony USA, or whatever, maybe the larger shows, WPPI, they need to bring this to the front, and they need to be the petitioners in DC about, you know, this issue, this wave of photographers becoming more and more targets for this kind of crime. I mean, honestly, I don't know what they can do, but my point is that I don't know what we can do either. I mean, the only safe route is just don't go shoot anymore, and that's
Well,
unacceptable.
well, I think being proactive and always having, if you're going to go and shoot in the city, you got to take someone with you.
True.
You got to have that buddy system with you. And I would stay on the phone talking to Matt Irwin because he would be in Melbourne, which Melbourne's larger than Los Angeles. There are more humans in Melbourne than there are in LA.
Mm.
And he's walking through these like alleys at
Yeah,
night, taking pictures of neon and all that kind of
with
stuff.
with
And
his
it's so
with his
pretty.
scooter,
Yeah, with this little
with
scoot,
his
and I'm
scooter
just
2 foot wide between
I
the
have
buildings and
anxiety.
flying.
I get nervous watching it. I get this anxiety, and I'm always telling him, I'm like, oh my god, how can you do that? I could not do that in Utah. I couldn't go out and into Salt Lake and go in between the buildings and alleyways and shoot like that in the dark. You're asking for trouble. It's just plain and simple. It's their area. If they're gonna sit in there, I'm not going down that street. So
Well, this brings up, and being in Utah, one of the wonderful things is it's a very carry friendly state, very carry friendly state. And a lot of people talk about, I carry when I go here or whatever, but I don't know that you really want to go down that road other than to save your life. But what would you do if it's just a robbery taking your equipment? Are you going to be compelled to draw to save your equipment? I understand saving your life or whatever, and that's putting people in a bad position, though. It really is.
it is. If if you are carrying a gun and you are disciplined to the extent that you will let the other person make the decision if you're going to take their life or not. I mean, it's a tough line to walk. It really is. And
Yeah.
I don't want to get things stolen from me, but at the same time, I don't want to blow someone away. And that's a very negative. It's negative for the community, for you, for everyone, and to know that it's over money, it's depressing. And from someone who suffers from PTSD from having to use a service weapon and stuff like that, you aren't as strong as you think you are. Uh, you know,
No, you're
ugh,
absolutely right. That
yeah.
is a very emotional
Oh
moment.
man.
Very emotional.
Oh
No
yeah.
matter how you feel, no matter how angry you are, it's the consequences of doing it, going that route is super emotional. But so you're absolutely right there. Uh, let's not go down that avenue and
Yeah.
bring everybody down. Jose's talking about. I saw Todd Dominy shoot some wonderful landscapes in Utah, amazing rock formations. I got to tell you, if you ever want to take a photo trip, if you're a landscape photographer, man, you can't beat Utah. You just
It's
can't beat
beautiful here.
Utah.
Yeah. Now, you have at least 3 national parks, if not more, correct?
Oh
5.
God,
5
there's probably
major.
if I
How
walk
many
down my
I
street,
know
there's
you got
probably 3
tons of
national
state
parks.
Yeah.
But how many national parks you guys have, you think?
There's a bunch. I know there's I believe there's more in Utah than anywhere else, but
Yeah.
to give you that number, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But especially when you get into like southern Utah, I think the whole state is a monument of beauty. It really is.
Yep.
Maybe not so
Yeah.
much this time of year, but yeah, it's pretty. 5. There we go. He says 5. Yeah.
Yeah, there are 5 major parks that are always coming up in photo discussions, and that, man, and I was out there all the time I've spent out there, and I never got away long enough to go to one of them.
Mm. The other great thing here is, once you've seen all of Utah, then you've got, Nevada, California, Montana, all these states that are just dripping in beauty, and they're all just an hour away or so. California's a minute away, but you can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vahagan was saying that, people started making his video to be political and stuff like that, and that is not the answer.
No.
Harmony does not have to be political rhetoric. It really doesn't. So
Yeah, but everybody's going to take offense because they feel like by bringing it up, you're pointing to one party or the other, and that's wrong. It's a problem that needs to be fixed. Period. And I don't have a
Yeah,
any
I
solution for it.
don't think criminals walk around saying what party they voted for.
Yeah.
bing bong. No, Vahagan, if you want to make a video, I'd love to. I'll make something with you, about that very thing, about that topic. That'd be just fine with me. This was something that Jared Poland would talk about with that hashtag don't be an asshole. And I ended up really resenting him for it because it turned to be a way to kind of victim blame. And that's not the answer either, so.
All right. So we're in for 2.5 hours now. I think I'm going to run till midnight tonight, and I'm going to hang it up, guys.
Is that 30 minutes from now?
We got about 34 minutes. All right.
Man,
I'm just so happy you came in here, Chris. I'm so happy to see you, man. I'm happy to see you happy. I really am. And I look forward. I'm not trying to push you into, getting on the getting to work on videos and everything else. But, I can't wait to see what you do down the road, even if it's just one in a blue moon, because every time your videos are they're on the mark. They're fun.
I appreciate it.
And informative.
Yeah.
And informative too. So,
well, thank you. If I do resurface here in the next few months, I'll send you guys a link and let you guys know.
Oh, yeah. Here's a good question for you. Nikon came out with a new camera this year.
Was it a different color ZFC?
Yeah.
Is that what joke is?
Yeah. There was a big promotion behind it. The ZFC in black.
Bullshit.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't that what this is?
No, the whole thing's painted black.
Oh,
Yeah.
so okay. The metal bits on top are black.
That's why I'm saying they made a big promotion of it, being in black. So it's almost like introducing a new camera. Yeah.
Black. Retro.
Yeah, I've been, and I don't know what you remember before, but a lot of people have given me a lot of guff for picking on Nikon, but I just feel like they deserve it because their marketing is terrible. And the fact that this year they couldn't get a camera out other than the Z30. And I'm not going to pick on that,
Did that came out? That came out the Z30?
Yeah.
That's right.
Have you seen the Z30?
I think so. Yeah.
The
It doesn't have
vlogger,
viewfinder, right?
no viewfinder, the vlogger camera.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
And it's a cool little camera, no doubt about that. It's aimed at a specific audience, and there are a lot of people that have bought it. D Moots that was in here earlier, David bought one. It's great for this if you're going to stream or whatever. It's perfect for stuff like that. but it's really just a vlogger's camera. It's got the flippy screen and everything. But I mean, that's it. And everybody was expecting so much more. I know I was, and I get beat up about that constantly because I'm a petulant child. Just, I acknowledge that. I am. But trying to get Nikon to respond or even say anything, give us a hint, something,
Mhm.
just fell on deaf ears. But so many other people don't care. They don't, there are a lot of people, they don't care if Nikon drops a camera once every 10 years. They're happy with that. That's fine.
Well, and good for them. That's great. Yeah.
That's exactly right. But then they
Yeah.
want to pick on anybody that wants something. And you can't want anything anymore until certain channels
need
say
it.
you can now talk about it. Now you can talk about it.
I know
So-
that Nikon, Nikon bred their own group. They bred their own fans,
Yeah.
and they had to change these last few years, and so I think it's been a phenomenal change. But there are so many people that are just so dead set to hold on to what made Nikon, and
Yeah.
that's great. But what made them Nikon may put them out of business if you
Oh,
can't just
don't
keep the same.
don't say that.
Oh, I
You'll be
will.
you'll be tagged a petulant child that,
Bring it, tase me.
yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm finding is I even have people here in the community that they don't care to hear about it, all the time or whatever. Some don't want to hear gear talk or whatever. But I'm finding that there are so many more people out there that don't have a voice in YouTube or whatever that are, saying, "Hey, thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, I agree. I want to talk about these things or whatever." And Nikon's just been silent. And I think that's what bothers people most is Nikon just
Mhm.
nothing, zip zilch, nothing. And I've been asked, well, what do you want them to say? Well, I want them to, do some marketing and talk about, next year, they're going to be great things or whatever. So everybody's anticipating, and all the talking heads are anticipating, well, next year is going to be a banner year. Nikon's going to put out 3 camera bodies or whatever and an APS-C Pro body. Well, how's that going to happen? They couldn't do it this year, and you kept telling me Nikon's too small to do that. So what are they going to grow over the winter, and next year they're going to be able to support us with all these different cameras? Anyway, the battle goes on, but Nikon's just been silent, and I think they take my harping on Nikon to communicate with their base. And oh, by the way, we've had that discussion too. Pros have all the say in everything that goes on when, amateurs and hobbyists are paying the light bill at Nikon. Nikon couldn't survive without the amateur base. That's probably 80% of their sales at least. And oh, by the way, they put out, I don't know if you've seen all the lenses, Nikon's put out some superb super telephoto lenses this year. Everything, they don't have anything left to make for a telephoto lens. They've covered everything except for the
just
one
one.
lens everybody
lens.
wants, the 2-600. It's been
Oh.
on the roadmap forever, but they couldn't get that one out. And I've been beat up on that. Well, it's money, blah, blah, blah. It's money. And it's, these lenses are so good that you'll be using these 10 to 15 years down the road. You'll be lucky if you get one in 10 years. That's another thing. You can't even order the 400 2.8 TC right now in America or the 800 PF. Nikon literally shut it off for orders.
Wow.
So anyway, so these are the things that drive me crazy, and I don't mind airing it on my channel. And some people don't want to hear it. I get that. Okay. And I just ask them, just tune out this stream, just, I understand you don't want to hear it, but there are so many people that want to hear it. And it's always, it's been an ongoing battle. So we hope to see the Z8 next year, the mythical Z8.
I don't think there's going to ever be a Z8.
Well, you could be right at this point.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No, you feel
I
like
think
Schultz on Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
I see nothing.
Miller
The last fucking hero just died like this week. The last,
Really?
I can't remember his name.
Oh, LeBeau? The guy who
LeBeau.
played
I think that
Yep.
was it. Yeah, he was
LaBelle?
like 90. Dude,
Yep.
Wow.
I love the Gong Show, man. That takes
Yeah.
me back to when I was a kid. That was a great show. That was reality TV at its best.
Yep. No.
I think of like what would motivate me into a new camera, and I really can't think of a whole lot right now. You know, I don't know. You know, and it's not because I've kind of calmed down a bit with photography, because I still love it. And I've still been using my camera like crazy. You know, this past many months, I've still been, as soon as I can, I've been outside with it. But when I think of like 4K is 4K and 24 megapixels is 24 megapixels, I don't know what it would take to motivate me to want to buy a new camera. I don't know what it would take. I don't know if anyone could produce something right now that I'd be truly interested in.
And that's great, man. It's wonderful to be content with what you have. I get that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it was a bummer to sell some of my lenses, but it felt good. Instant, you know, at the end, I was just like, I never use certain
you know,
tools.
in the end, Chris, it aggravates me that you can't, not you personally, but we can't want, you know, it just aggravates me that we can't want something different or something new or whatever. It just has to be, no, you'll get what you get when you get it, and just shut up and quit worrying about it. Learn to use your own camera, you know, and I want to say to them, you know, why do you have that 68 or 90-inch big screen TV? You don't need it. You know, all you need is a 13-inch TV to watch TV. You don't need that Lexus. You can buy a used Toyota Corolla, because it's just providing you with transportation. So my point is, why is it in photography that you can only buy things that they're willing, the manufacturers are willing to put out, and you can only buy it if you need it? You have to justify every purchase. There are people that have to do that. I get it. But again, you know, you don't need a Rolex. A time $14 Timex at Walmart keeps the same time. I'm sorry, you know. So it just aggravates me that we can't just get on and talk about what we want. All right, I'll let that
You,
drop now.
you don't even need a watch anymore, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
Hey, Vahagan, I'm about 30 minutes north of the Delta Center, to answer your question. And it's not called the Delta Center anymore. That's what it was called like in the 90s. Back when the Jazz were awesome. I think
30
that's
minutes.
how
That's
it
right.
is with everything, though. I mean, you can want all that you want, but if it's not on the shelf, then you can't buy it. You know, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. You know, want whatever you want. You know, you do you, Drew. Stockton Malone.
Acting Malone. Yeah.
Those were good years. There were Stockton, Malone, and Hornacek. Oh my God, Anton Carr. Dude, the Jazz were stacked. Stacked.
How many car dealerships does Malone own there in Salt Lake City?
Well, so it's Larry H. Miller. You know, he owned the Jazz, and so he's the one that owns his family. He's dead now, but his family owns probably 4 dozen car lots, and I think that was part of the contract was, come play with me and I'll give you a car lot. You could funnel all your money through it.
Oh man.
The short shorts, that's right. John Stockton, man, he wore them shorts. He wore the like the Larry Bird shorts. Man, what a day. The hell day is it anyway?
It is Saturday night.
Saturday night, man.
Yeah, Karl Malone, he drove his semi truck from here to New York one time, and he thought that was a really big deal. And I was like, okay. Well, the house is pretty quiet upstairs. I'm guessing everyone's gone to bed. So whether that means I can go lay down or, I don't know, play some Minecraft or something.
There you go.
I have found that when I get like uber duber stoned, Minecraft is just, it's the way to do it.
You gotta get out some old Atari games or something.
Oh man,
you know,
get that
get asteroids going.
Yeah,
or,
right in your thumb, like there, just
Space
Oh,
Invaders. Space Invaders. See how those things marching down.
God, that'd be fun. All right, well, so then I'll probably go join them and let you guys wind down.
All right, Chris. Well, hey man, thanks for dropping in. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Vahagan, because I
Love
know
seeing you
that's
again, man.
Yeah.
You are missed. You are sincerely missed.
I appreciate it. I really do, and I hope you guys know how much I miss you guys. Every one of you, Zelda,
yeah,
every one of you
Zelda.
has meant so much to me. So I really appreciate your support and everything. So take care,
Yeah,
guys. Be safe.
Absolutely. Again, glad
Yeah,
to see you
you
happy,
too.
brother.
Yeah. Take care.
All right, buddy.
Take it easy, man.
All right. All right.
And then there were two.
Yep. Pretty quiet night.
Yeah.
But, I'm so glad to see Chris. You know, I know his job was getting to him, and I'm glad to see him in a happy place now. I really am.
Yeah, I know when I retired, I retired, timed my retirement to my last day would be when I hit 30 years at that company. I worked 10 somewhere else. And so I retired on September 15th. And some people said, "Oh, why didn't you just work till the end of the year?" And I just said, I would not have survived till the end of the year. I had had enough, and I had to get out what I was doing.
Yep.
I had it, it's too much.
Yep. I agree, Vahagan. He's such a good guy. He's just so much fun.
Johnish, you can't get a turkey. Wait a minute. You could go to Turkey, can't you? No, wait a minute.
The bird flu.
Oh
Yep.
man.
So I guess that's just any imports, no imports, turkey imports there.
Well, if that's implying that we have the bird flu in our turkeys, then we're not having trouble buying the turkeys. They're selling them at an all-time high price.
No, I think they've shut down turkey imports because of the bird flu. So no matter where it's coming from, I'm guessing. Because we're not experiencing it here. I saw something in the news post about bird flu. So yep, you can't get it. I mean, no imports of turkeys. Well, I guess poultry of any kind. Yeah, we just picked up our turkey yesterday. It's in the fridge. Be putting that in the oven later this week, of course, for Thanksgiving. All right, man. I got to tell you guys, I don't want to go, but yeah, there you go. Thanksgiving ham.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like having ham and turkey on Thanksgiving, but since I'm the only one that eats ham, I'm not buying a ham just for me. But yeah, I am beat tonight, and I guess that's why I'm not so energetic right now. So I think I'm going to shut this down here real soon, unless anybody's got any comments or questions or opinions you'd like to share. But this may be the shortest live stream. But I mean, we had some great people in here tonight. It's been fantastic. Save a turkey and eat a pigeon. Well, everything's a pigeon according to Z Wade. If it flies, it's a pigeon.
yeah.
No
My
night
eyes,
got
my,
news. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? Did you? There may not be Nikon news directly, but I don't know if it was Petapixel that put out an article that Tamron's going to be making a whole bunch of new 1.4 primes.
No, I haven't seen that because everybody's screaming for the 1.4 for some reason. I guess they think it'll be cheaper than the 1.2s, but better than the 1.8s. Maybe they will.
Well, my theory was that Tamron would probably be making the 1.4s for Nikon, and if they're saying that they're developing a whole bunch of 1.4 primes, there you go. They may end up being Nikon.
Yeah. So, I mean, does everybody think there's really going to be a huge difference between a Tamron produced 1.4 and Nikon produced 1.8? I don't know. Maybe there will be. But
I think it's just going to be a price point thing in people's,
and maybe 1.4 sounds sexier too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they will be extremely better than the 1.8s. And I actually hope so. I hope that they're great lenses. And that's all good for Nikon shooters, especially when you can, buy what works for you at a lower price. I think it's great, especially when we're talking about DX lenses, APS-C lenses. And that's going to help Nikon out tremendously because Nikon's getting beat up by the DX crowd about a very austere APS-C lineup for lenses.
Well, Greg, I went out this morning. I got some very good video, quite a bit of video that I took, actually. I did not take a ton of photos, a fair amount, but for me, it was like I took like 350 photos, which for me is like nothing. So I looked at the videos quick. I put them in the computer, and starting to go through the stills, and probably only going to go out again next week, maybe Monday, because we're supposed to get 4 days of rain. So this coming week's going to be shot. It's going to be just wet and soggy. So I may have 1 day this week to get out, and that might be Monday, and that's it. I think the rest of the days, well, between rain and the holiday, that'll be the week. And I'm using my monopod on and off, but not all the time. Like today, I shot handheld. I figured it was 34 degrees. I'd be stiff enough and I wouldn't move. So the video would be steady.
Okay. I just had to check my wife, check to see if she's on her way home yet, but no, she's over at stepson's house. All right, guys, I think I'm going to pull the plug. I really appreciate everybody coming in, everybody that's even still here in the stream, viewers, and those that are dropping comments in the chat. Guys, you don't know how much I appreciate everybody that shows up for these live streams. And I really intend, and I continue to try to make sure I do, is let you have a voice. And I didn't put the phone number up, so I'm not doing a good job, am I? But address your comments in the chat because that really means something to me. We watched a live stream the other day, and the chat was not getting any love, really. There was one of the participants that was talking to folks in the chat within the chat itself. But I don't like it even when we get too wrapped up in talking to each other on the screen here rather than following the comments, which is why I'm always so far behind. I'm, waiting for a conversation to finish or whatever. And that's important to me. And I want to get to a point where I'm not even talking so much other than just letting everybody else, talk or whatever and address you all. The big thing for me is trying to give you a voice, something I didn't have. And, a lot of people, let them voice their opinions, let you guys voice voice your opinions. And I'm rambling on right now because I'm just tired. It's like being out in the cold and coming into the warmth, kind of kicking my behind right now. But seriously, I am humbled by the fact that so many people show up, and apparently you enjoy the conversations that go on. And I'm not talking just with us on the panel, but even within the chat. So again, thank you so much, and I hope we can continue to get better and better and better. And I hope the community is fantastic. You notice we don't have any issues really in the chat with people coming together. It's an international audience, and I want to continue that so we can share what's going on around the world with each other in the photo community. And my hat's off to Vahagan. He's the one that really he's kind of mentored me through this process, even though there are some times and he gets mad at me because I say, no, I'm going to do it my way. And he always says do it my way. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just going to continue to do this. And I think we can show YouTube there's a new channel. I don't mean mine, but a new way to conduct a channel on YouTube. And, and if you guys know of somebody, a channel that does live streams consistently and includes the chat, please pass it on to me because I'd like to go over and participate in their channel as well and let them know how, how happy I am that they're doing it as well. I think I'm not going to change anything on YouTube other than the fact that we're going to change the perception that you get talked to. And that's how so many of these channels operate. The only time you're acknowledged if you're, oh, you're the greatest and oh, you're the most wonderful photographer or whatever in the world, you might get noticed, but you can't disagree with the host. And here you definitely can. You can't disagree with other people in the panel that they may have. And I want to keep that open. I want you guys to always challenge me on my craziness at times. And that's what it's all about. It's a dialogue. Just like Barron said the other day, photography discourse, discourse, a discussion on a subject or topic or whatever. And I want to keep that same vibe going that we've started here. So anyway, I just want you guys to know that I do appreciate it. And for you, Jeffrey and Vahagan and David Moots and Z Wade Photo and all you guys that come in here and chat, I really appreciate it because nobody has to do this. And I don't want to take away from, take people's time away from them or whatever. And I understand that sometimes people can't join us, but now let me transition to, if you're still in here, we got 32 people still. If you would like to be on the panel, you don't have to be a somebody, guys. If you don't have to have
you could be a nobody like
well,
me.
no.
Get on
I
here.
mean,
If I
a
could
true.
do it, they could do it. If I could do it, they could do it.
I'm just saying that, you can be on the panel as well. As long as you have the means to stream, all you have to do is email me and we'll get you in here as well, because that's what the community should be about. We don't have to have big names come in here all the time. And I'll tell you right now, I've had a lot of people suggest, hey, get this person, get that person. And sometimes they're smaller channels, which I'm all about. That'd be great. But I don't want to bring these famous giant YouTubers on the channel because then it becomes about them. It's not about you. And I don't want that. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'd rather it be about you. And anybody that does come on and is in the panel, I'm not bringing people in here just to promote themselves. Obviously, you're a small channel, promote yourself to a certain extent, but converse with the chat room. And that's the most important thing about coming on my channel is you have to be observant of the chat room because that's what it's about. All right. I've gone on enough about that. And I really appreciate, again, everybody being in here. Go over to these channels that I put in that I highlight in the description. If you haven't been to Jeffrey's channel, Selective Imagery, go over there and check out Jeffrey. Of course, you all know Vahagan, but if there's maybe by some strange chance you don't know who Vahography is, and I can't imagine that in this community,
Well,
but
then
check
you've
his,
been in a coma.
yeah, yeah, check out his channel as well. And it's really important to me, guys, that you support the small channels that are struggling, because I'm a small channel and I've always been this way. I always fight for the underdog, never myself. And that's why my wife's on me all the time. You didn't ask for subscribers, and she's right. But check out these people that I drop in there. All you have to do is click the link, go to their channel, and please consider subscribing. And I'm not going to say you must. Obviously, I have no control over whether you do or not. But consider subscribing. Huff Photo. He wasn't in here tonight because he's busy with something else. But Huff Photo, Selective Imagery. I'm not going to mention myself. I'm already a small channel, but D Moots Photography, Jeff and Leslie Wildlife Photography, Greg Wilson Nature Photography. All these people are putting content out, and it takes time to do that. So I'm just pleading with you to check them out as well. Consider a subscription. If you watch their channels, drop likes, because that's what keeps us motivated, is the fact that people will drop a like and let us know, hey, I enjoyed it. And that makes you want to, okay, now I need to get ready for the next time. I need to get more content to produce or whatever. And again, I am just babbling on, but I am sincere. So I hope that you guys will do that. I love seeing you come be here in the streams. And again, if you'd like to be on here live with your own square up here in the panel, all you got to do is let me know. And I don't
I
care
could
if you
teach
have
him
any
how to move around, Chuck. I
Yeah.
could teach him how to move around within the square. I'm
There
good
you
at
go.
that.
There you go.
So
There
that's
you
one
go.
thing I'm good at.
All right. So the other thing is, you don't have to have any content on your channel. You have a voice. You you love photography, or you wouldn't be here, or other channels or whatever. And you can still talk about photography and video or whatever, whether you have a channel that has any videos that you've done or not. It doesn't matter. The point is that you can come in here and talk just like everybody else. All right. That's all I've got. Vahagan. I appreciate you being in here, brother. I know you're always busy editing the next video. I love seeing what you come up with next. Jeffrey, thank you for taking the time each Saturday night and Wednesdays, even when you're available.
No problem.
Yeah, Luke. All I do is open the door and let everybody come in. I probably run my mouth too much, actually. But thank you very much. And yes, it is a really nice community that we've got going here, and I want to continue to see it grow. But on the flip side of that, it's kind of bittersweet. I want to see it grow because I want more people to be able to interact with each other, which is building the community, the photography community, not just this community. But we're going to, and I know it's going to happen. We're going to grow and we're going to get so big. It's going to be impossible, I think, to try to acknowledge everybody in the chat. But you can bet I'll do my best to make sure everybody's heard, or to the best of my ability, make sure everybody's heard, because that's what this is about. All right. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Greg says it's like meeting friends at a cafe and hanging out. Exactly. Exactly. And Vahagan was talking about that recently, and I forget who else was talking about it. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, guys, that's about all I've got. Let me turn it over to Mr. Selective Imagery himself, Jeffrey Neville. Anything, Jeffrey?
No, not much. I just hope where you guys are, your weather's better. You can get out maybe a couple times before Thanksgiving, get some more pictures in the queue, and have something more to share come on the 3rd of December to send Chuck. And just wish everybody, I plan on, Chuck has a show Wednesday. I'm going to try to make sure I'm on it. But if something happens, wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. enjoy the time with your family and friends, have a great meal, and have a couple beers and watch a few football games and have a good time.
Yeah, those are, our international audience. It's our Thanksgiving coming up this coming Thursday. I hope you have something similar wherever you are. But it's just a big day. It used to be, and it still is to some extent, a day it seems like the only time you see family is on Thanksgiving and Christmas. But that's the only time anybody travels to, get the family together. But it's always a big day of eating here if you're not familiar with it. And that'll be this upcoming Thursday. And of course, yours truly will be cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So I am looking forward to it, though. Let's see, what else was I gonna say before we parted here? I can't remember. That means it wasn't important. That's what my wife tells me. But yeah, just so those that may be new to the channel and are still in here, viewers that are still in here. So I try to keep this as consistent as I can. I have a live stream on Wednesday afternoon, 12 noon Eastern times. It starts, and I know for a lot of people that's when they're working, at least in the U.S. But I think it caters to the European areas, European countries better because it's in the evening for you that are in Europe. And Saturday night, excuse me, seems to do better in Asia. So we do this on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern, and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So just so you know, I try to get a reminder out, but I'm sometimes I'm busy. I keep forgetting. I keep putting it off. Honestly, I won't take the time to go sit down and do it. But just know that even if there isn't a reminder, we're going to be here on Wednesday and Saturday. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And just like Greg says, everybody get out there and shoot, myself included. As soon as I fill this dumpster. All right, folks. Thanks again. God bless you all. I'll see you Wednesday. It'll be the next time we chat. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend and hope you can make it back Wednesday or next Saturday night. That's it.
Take care,
Everybody
everybody.
take care.